Let's see what happens. It might put a little bit of pressure on Leicester, who host QPR later today. You're listening to the EFL Championship on Talksport with McDonald's. Order Mac delivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Fox hunting appears to be legal in the Championship. 2024 started with Leeds 17 points behind a Leicester side who are making promotion as champions look easy. 2 months later, and Leeds can now go 3 points behind Leicester this lunchtime, live on Talksport. Huddersfield against Leeds. Brighton writer Gegen Farker. What's German for Yorkshire Glory? Hier sind Ihre Kommentatoren, Dean Ashton und Sam Matterface.
Guten Morgen. Willkommen. Just 15 miles separate Huddersfield and Leeds, but their form and aims are at the different ends of the map. Leeds trying to navigate a way back to the Premier League, have won all 9 championship games since the turn of the year. Today they hunt for a new club record, 10 league wins in a row. Huddersfield trying to pull out of a cul-de-sac, finally look as if they might be travelling in the right direction. 19th in the division, another new manager. The Terriers have lost only 2 of their last 8 games. But just a glance at Leeds away form, and trouble looks as if it could be quickly on the horizon. It's certainly gone north for the Whites at a rapid rate. Leeds have won the last 4 on their travels in the Championship and haven't conceded a goal. And they haven't won 5 in a row on the road in the league for 23 years. So milestones aplenty for Daniel Parker on the horizon today. Can Huddersfield resist them as Andre Brighton takes charge of his first home game today? Well, his team came from behind against Watford last weekend to give themselves much more hope that their future lies at this level of the English pyramid. There he is, Andre Brighton has been introduced to the crowd here at the John Smith Stadium to warm applause, and it's jam-packed inside this ground today ahead of what is an eagerly anticipated derby. Huddersfield have got Lee Nichols in goal, Matty Pearson, Tom Lees and Nakayama make up a back 3. Thomas and Spencer have been playing as the wing-backs this year, with Kasumi, Hogg and Rodoni as the midfield trio. Ward and Bergzog in attack today. Ward scored 2 goals last week at Vicarage Road. Leeds United have Meslier in goal. Back 4 is Archie Gray, Rodon, Ampadu and Firpo. Gruev and Kamara have been particularly impressive in midfield. Nonto, Jorginho and Somerville behind Bamford, who's got 6 goals in his last 10 games in attack. Tottenham against Crystal Palace takes centre stage on Talksport 2 a little bit later on Monday night, when everyone else has played their game in hand in the Premier League title race. Arsenal get the chance to respond at Bramall Lane, but we're focusing on the Championship title race, a 4-way promotion tussle from 4 points of the compass, live and only on Talksport. It's Huddersfield against Leeds, a Yorkshire derby. Huddersfield in blue and white stripes, attacking the goal away to our right in the first half, and Leeds in pink. And Dean Ashton, Huddersfield be hoping for their new manager bounce to continue this week, but it's a slightly tougher task.
They will, and when you've got an atmosphere such as this, you've got to use it as the home side, which means the simple things to start with: getting in players' faces, closing players down, testing their touch on this slick surface. And they have already started pretty well with a decent tackle already from Zorba Thomas.
Ball is out on this near touchline, sent forward, thrown in by Spencer, and then gets it forward towards Thomas, but the ball bounces behind and away for a goal kick away to our right, and Leeds have possession. Interesting to see how they're going to line up today. It looks like they might even be playing with Spencer on the right side of the defence here, Huddersfield Town, which is fascinating. The ball's in midfield, it's collected by Rodoni. He will play it back towards Matty Pearson, sent forward towards Thomas, but the ball went out of play on this near side, and Spencer just seeing the ball go out of play will leave that for Junior Firpo to regather for Leeds United.
Yeah, it does look like a back four with Spencer at right back. Kasuma has gone alongside Hogg, actually. There's a sort of holding midfielder, two of them.
Ball is at the edge of the penalty area with Meslier for Leeds, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. Leeds have been quite quick out of the blocks recently. They've scored 5 goals in the first 10 minutes of their last 5 games. And Ethan Ampadu, who's captaining the team today, back in the heart of defence, where he's formed a really good partnership with Joe Rodon in the absence of Pascal Strike. And actually Daniel Parker's probably got a bit of a question to ask when Strike comes back, and whether or not he goes straight back into the team at the heart of the defence. Ampadu comes forward into midfield. Glenn Kamara touches it back to him just in front of the centre circle. Hogg was chasing him. The ball goes back to Meslier, and it goes out wide towards the right-hand side, where it's collected by Archie Gray, who's very tall for a 17-year-old and looks incredibly muscular. Someone suggested to me in midweek that he may well, when he ends up bursting into midfield, filling out, looking like a little bit like Declan Rice as time progresses. Certainly Leeds United would be delighted with that.
Yeah, still ridiculous, you know, at his age, that he's looked so competent. He's got so much ability, he's able to express that. Not many players can. I could.
Dean, you had a very good career at your young age, didn't you? You know what it's like to burst onto the Championship at that sort of age. Here is Jorginho, edge of the penalty area, in towards Gnonto. Oh, it's a great space for Kamara. Kamara turns and shoots, and then somehow Somerville has his effort saved by Nichols' left leg, even though he was diving towards the other side of the goal. That was far too easy for Leeds United to carve open Huddersfield Town on the edge of the penalty area. Gnonto teed it up for Kamara. He was too hesitant in pulling the trigger. It eventually came on the left-hand side of the area for Somerville, and somehow Nichols made a save.
Oh, but what a fantastic move from Leeds United. With the playing surface so slick, 1 and 2 touch, it just means at times you can't handle it as a defence. It's just happening too fast for everyone. Jorginho Ruter gets himself free, and I just thought actually he took too long. It was too cute in the end. Once you do get into that position and Gnonto pulls it back for you, just finish. Just put it in the back of the net. You don't need to do that extra touch, take an extra player on. I thought it was a real chance, and it was a good save with his legs in the end from Nichols.
0-0, 4 minutes gone. Leeds United having the best chance of the game early on in the match, and another fast start from them. I mentioned they scored a goal very early on. That was a bit of a gift down at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday night. But they have been scoring goals for fun in the early parts of matches. Here down the left-hand side, the ball is played up to Kamara. Kamara tries to get away from Pearson, who wins it back and now sends Zorba Thomas on the run down the right-hand side. His early cross into the box comes to Rodoni, edge of the area. He tries to help it on to Ward. Ward trying to get in behind the defence, but it's shepherded back by Rodon in front of those Leeds United fans away to our right-hand side, who applaud him roundly as he sees it back to Meslier inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, terrific from Zorba Thomas, and it's refreshing actually to see a wide player just get out of his feet and put it in. Gives the forward players a much better chance of getting hold of it. A little deflection into Rodoni's path. He should volley that. That sat up beautifully for a left foot volley, and he tried a more difficult pass into his striker.
Do you know what's really fascinating about the Huddersfield formation is Tom Lees keeps stepping out of defence and into midfield to follow Jorginho everywhere. He's almost man marking him.
It's brave. I'll give him that.
Leeds gives the ball back towards the goalkeeper Nichols, who floats it out towards the near touchline. It's collected by Spencer. Spencer, under pressure from Somerville, shows good composure and tucks it back into the heart of defence, and it's with Matty Pearson. Rodoni drops deep to pick it up. Back to Pearson again, clipping it down the touchline. Doesn't get that right. Rodoni complains about it. The ball goes out of play on this near side, and it's away for a throw-in to Leeds United. Huddersfield Town, I think they believe there's an extra edge to this game. David Kasumu yesterday speaking very well, actually, acknowledging that this game is important. It's a first opportunity for him to play in this fixture in the middle of the park. Has been playing a little bit further out wide on the right hand side recently, but he'll be desperate to get involved in the thick of the action. Rodoni sends it forward. It's cut out by Gruev, who's been particularly impressive, I think. He started off slowly, but has certainly been growing into the season at the heart of the Leeds midfield. And this is the third permanent coach of the season for Huddersfield Town. Andre Brighton-Wrighton succeeded Darren Moore, who was sacked at the end of January. Brighton-Wrighter's previous managerial role, Hoffenheim, Zurich, led them to the Swiss title. Their first one in 13 years, with Willie Gnonto in the team actually that particular year. He's playing for Leeds United tonight, and Brighton-Wrighter will know exactly what to expect from him. Here's Zorba Thomas. Everybody knows what to expect from him. Travelling with the ball at speed, but running into Rodoni. Bamford picks it off and gives it back to Gnonto inside the Huddersfield at the Leeds United half of the field, and it goes all the way back to Meslier away to our right hand side. So we've played just over 7 minutes live on Talksport, and it's still goalless between Huddersfield Town, 19th in the Championship, and Leeds United.
Yeah, just Rodoni actually is playing very high up, almost the highest player. He's been given the task to either press one of the centre-backs or then drift in front of Gruev, and it's just a way of squeezing up the pitch.
Everywhere Jorginho goes, Tom Lees follows shortly afterwards, and he's just won the ball high up, almost found Rodoni, didn't come off for him. Now Jorginho Rite manages to scoop through the centre circle, gets away from the challenge of Kasumu, who then was a little bit late from behind, and referee Andrew Kitchen just blows the whistle and gives a free kick just right of the centre circle. Elsewhere, Manchester City lead Everton by a goal to 0 in the Women's Super League. Significant game that, because if City were to win it, they would go above Chelsea in the league. However, they would have played a game more. Bristol City against Cardiff is already underway at Ashton Gate in the Championship. Early kick-off for that one. 0-0 is the score in the National League. Dorking against the leaders Chesterfield, who've had a little bit of a wobble. 0-0. I think their lead is still 23 points the last time I looked, though, so I think they'll be okay. Free kick on the edge of the centre circle. It's back to Rodon, across the back four to Ampadu, and then on to the pink-booted Junior Firpo. And Leeds United, they quite like this pink away kit actually. It's been quite fruitful for them, and they didn't need to change their kit on Wednesday night, but decided that pink was the option. I'm sure that's nothing to do with the commercial departments or marketing. It's all to do with the fact that they feel fortunate in it. It's got a fetching number actually. It's totally pink apart from the front, which has got like a weird splurge of yellow all over it.
That'd be great for the summer, that one.
Ball back to Ilian Meslier as Dorking take the lead against Chesterfield by a goal to 0 in the National League, which is not what many people were expecting. Here is clearance from Brodie Thomas on this near side in the right full-back position. He started all 10 games now since being recalled from a season-long loan at Motherwell in January. And he's put it out of play for a throw-in down in front of us on the halfway line. 0-0 the score. Dorking in the bottom four at this moment in time, but a victory today will take them up to within a goal difference of Wealdstone and Wild and York City. Here down the left hand side is Gnonto moving into the penalty area. He tries to get the ball off Somerville. Somerville nicks it back on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it is eventually into the arms of the goalkeeper, who's going to take a free kick just inside the box.
Pretty undefendable that from a Leeds perspective. Just played in to Somerville, one touch inside and he span. He was just away from Spencer. It was terrific pace of thought and speed of foot from Somerville, and that's going to make it a very, very difficult afternoon for Spencer, I'm sure.
Huddersfield and Leeds, not big rivals. Speak to a Leeds fan and they'll think nothing really of it, but for Huddersfield Town, they quite enjoy trying to upset the Leeds bandwagon. Here is Zorba Thomas on halfway, sending the ball forward into the path of Bergzorg. He flicks it back to Rodoni, who shoots from 25 yards out, and he caught that beautifully, drove that towards the far corner and across, sprawling to his right when Meslier, and pushed it round the post and out for a corner.
Really fast move from Huddersfield into Bergzorg, flick back to Rodoni. Lovely run from Ward just to take away Gray, opened up the space for the shot, and as he struck it, he cut right across it. Had a lovely little bit of left-hand fade on it, but Meslier, brilliant save up to his right-hand side.
And Leeds United got a corner to defend here, We played 11.5 minutes on Talksport. Ball in towards the near post. Redoni flicks it on at the near post once again, and it's saved by Meslier again. Down at the foot of the post this time, flicking away the near post, help on by Redoni. And Zorba Thomas's corner, and we know how deadly and dangerous his deliveries are from wide areas. And another one goes into the box now, and Meslier has to come out in front of Matty Pearson and punch the ball clear. Hogg thinks he was fouled as he went up for a header to head it back into the danger zone. Ward chasing, the ball breaks towards this near side. It's collected by Firpo, who clears it upfield, and a bit of pressure relieved on the Leeds United defence. Well, Bamford thought he was fouled on this near side, but again Huddersfield win it and take the game back to Leeds United. And wonder whether or not that 72-hour turnaround period might just be affecting Leeds United, because Huddersfield just starting to put a little bit of pressure on here, and Leeds looking a little bit jaded. Here's Zorba Thomas into the box again with another cross, which goes over the head of Redoni and over the head of Danny Ward, and floats out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side.
I mean, even that wasn't a bad ball from Thomas. It just didn't have a runner at the back post. But I absolutely love that type of delivery from corners, that whipped in swinging corner, because all you need is a touch. Meslier did very, very well to see it late from behind two of his own players, just to pat it away. And then again Thomas with the ball back in. Great delivery.
Oh, they've given the ball away on the edge of the penalty area, and Glenn Kamara's timed his tackle apparently right. Kasumo is on the floor and saying that he was fouled right on the edge of the penalty area. Lee's playing out from the back. Kasumo went to nab it. Glenn Kamara saw the danger, tried to deal with it, and was lucky not to commit a foul. The referee says play on.
If you're going to play that pass though as a goalkeeper, that long pass into midfield, that is always a risky play. It's not too bad when it's, you know, between 5 and 10 yards, that pass into midfield, but he tried to play that from 20 yards away. Just gave Kasumu a chance to try and steal in.
0-0, 14 minutes gone on Talksport between Leeds United away from home at Huddersfield's John Smith Stadium, and they pick the ball up on the far side with Crescencio Somerville trying to feed it into Nonto inside the area. Flag stays down. Bamford went to shoot, but the flag had already gone up, and it would have been denied even if it had gone in, and it didn't.
Yeah, just a quick change from Leeds there. Somerville over to the right hand side, Nonto to the left, and then Nonto makes a great run in the centre forward position, and actually it's really good defending from Nakayama. Just saw the pass, saw the run, stepped up at the right time just to catch Nonto offside.
So we're at the John Smith Stadium today, the foothills of the Pennines, just a small jaunt from Leeds, market town in West Yorkshire, prominent in the Industrial Revolution, full of Victorian architecture that you would associate of that time. Ball played out down the right hand side, and there's a little nudge out for Nonto to give away another corner to Huddersfield Town. And this stadium, opened in 1994, is a standout arena. Looks a little bit dated now, but it's highly recognisable with its 4 separate stands, each with semicircular roofs, and those big, thick, white girders that sit on top of each one of them. Attacking one away to our right-hand side, Zorba Thomas about to swing in another corner, and no surprise that he has been a real threat in the early stages, Dean.
Of course, I mean, it's about delivery now for Thomas. I don't know what they're waiting for. The referee and
is having a word with Nonto and Nakayama at the far post. I don't think Nonto should be marking anyone.
It's almost as if every game the referee wants early on has to go in and remind everyone, stop cuddling each other.
Nakayama and Nonto, well, just sort of in a bit of a scrap at the back post. The ball goes there eventually, and the effort from Ward hits the back of a defender, Gray, and goes out for a corner on the far side. I mean, they got a little bit distracted there by everything that was going on in the middle of the park, ended up flicking the ball in the air, and no one realised that Ward was unmarked at the far post.
No, and it spun so high. Ward did incredibly well to control the volley on the side, and actually it was important that Gray got a block in.
Corner to be taken on the far side this time. Zorba Thomas places the ball down inside the quadrant and will swing this in towards the near post, maybe underneath the goalkeeper. It's right in towards that near post area, headed away by Jorginho. Kasumu tries to bring it down and hit it, but it's cleared away, and they're in trouble now because there's a chance for a counter-attack, and Crescencio Somerville is leading it. Across comes Spencer with a brilliant challenge, well timed, well executed, and it was absolutely vital. They tried to get out on the other side, the ball goes out of play, but that intervention from Brodie Spencer was absolutely vital, Dean Ashton.
It was like a viper. It was like it came from underground, and just Somerville wasn't expecting it. It was just and if he doesn't time this properly, he's off. You know, it's that much of a decision he's made there to get it absolutely right, and he did.
It was a brilliant challenge from Brodie Spencer. 0-0. Leeds have the ball on the far side. Somerville is brought to the floor, and we've already seen Huddersfield looking to attack Leeds in those wide areas. They've scored 12 goals from crosses in the Championship this season, more than any other team. And Sorba Thomas returning to the team is aiding that. He's delivered more than 100 crosses more than any other player in the Championship into the box this season. 344. That is a startling number.
It's dreamlike for me, that. Honestly.
Leif Davis is second on 240.
I mean, the fact that he's only got 9 assists in the league feels a bit cruel to him, doesn't it? There's probably at least 300 of them are probably excellent deliveries. You know, his consistency is very, very good.
Well, Leeds United came here full of confidence. Winners against Leicester last Friday night. They took Chelsea to the edge of extra time on Wednesday, and they have been starting to smell the prospect of an immediate return to the Premier League, but they certainly haven't had it all their own way in the opening 18 minutes. Here it's goalless on Talksport. Later on, Tottenham Palace is on Talksport too. It's up to Bamford through the middle of the park to Jorginho, who tries to turn rather elegantly and poke the ball forward into Nonto's path. It's cut out by the defender, bobbles back to Nichols, and he kicks clear towards Sorba Thomas over on the far side. I mean, actually, the fact that they've had to switch the wingers so early in the game suggests that already Daniel Farke is a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, and just to throw things off as well from a Huddersfield perspective, I just keep seeing, you mentioned that, you know, Tom Lee's coming out to Jorginho Rutter, and he's got to get that right every time, because that's what Jorginho will be waiting for, the time that he doesn't quite come out, and then he leaves the space in behind him, and he can just turn and play that one pass straight through the Huddersfield defence.
Summerfield up to Bamford, and Bamford's got a bit of space here to play it into Archie Gray, who's careered forward from right wing back. He sends the ball into Bamford, who steps over it, didn't realise that Pearson was behind him, and the ball is clear. In fact, it was Hogger was behind him, and he clears it away. Sorba Thomas drops deep to pick it up. There's a problem on halfway. Nakayuma and
two men down.
Crescencio Somerville are both down on the turf, and a yellow card is coming out here for Jonathan Hogg. I think that was for his part in the situation. Might have been for kicking the ball away, actually, but it's treatment giving to Somerville over on the far side. They can't afford to lose him. 16 goals this season, 3 goals and an assist in his last 4 Championship appearances. Yeah, it was his tackle which caused the problem for Somerville. It was late and it was high, and actually it was a problem for Nakayama, caused by the fact that Hogg fouled Somerville. Somerville then fell on the back of Nakayama's leg, and that looks quite sore.
Yeah, it was certainly unfortunate in the way that he fell onto Nakayama. It just looked like he maybe extended his knee slightly, because he kind of fell on his shin, just turned his knee inwards slightly. I mean, Hogg was only a fraction away from the ball. It wasn't a nice tackle, but he was only a fraction away from the ball. But rightly so, given a yellow card, because he definitely dived in.
Talksport on a Saturday lunchtime, and Leeds United, who have lost only one of their last 13. They've won 11 of those. They've done very well in terms of their defensive run as well. They'd only conceded 4 goals in that run until Chelsea put 3 past them on Wednesday night, but I think that can be forgiven in an FA Cup tie against the team from the Premier League. It was also the first time this season, actually, that Leeds had scored the first goal in a game and lost all campaign. But they remain unbeaten in the last 48 Championship games when they've scored first, so getting in front here would be important to them. And Huddersfield, who have had a recent upturn in form, 3 wins in the last 5, and that after winning just 5 of their opening 29 games of the season, sort of had their turnaround under the caretaker manager. An injection of form that Andre Breitenreiter has tried to extend
had a good start last week in the game down at Watford, coming from behind to win. Daniel Farke's still a little bit unhappy, as having it explained to him by the fourth official, Jeff Eltringham, while Somerville's got to go off over on the far side. He's just trying to make sure that it's nothing serious. Nakayama is doing the same, and we are about to get underway again. Last thing you need in this sort of chilly cold. It is freezing, by the way. You and I both had to come across quite extensive periods of countryside earlier, and there was snow on the ground.
Oh, well, there was, yeah. I know it was sleeting and snowing in Sheffield, I think, as well. And yeah, I'm like the Michelin man here, squeezed in.
Got your big coat on, and your gloves, and your hat.
Yeah.
Sal, our intrepid OB producer, is not wearing gloves, and he's quite proud of it. Ball sent down the right-hand side. Bamford trying to chase, and he's left alone over on that far side. And he goes out for a goal kick away to our left, and it remains 0-0.
I think Brian Reiter will be really pleased. I think they've matched Leeds in terms of chances created. They know that Leeds are going to have their moments, of course they are, and they're being brave enough though to take that chance with the likes of Leeds stepping into midfield to try and get close to Jorginho.
Jorginho's been in such great form, hasn't he? I mean, he started the season as a number 9 with Piru playing as the 10, and it didn't quite work out for them. It looked pretty obvious that it would be better the other way around. Eventually Daniel Farke relented and did switch them around. He's really thrived behind the striker, and actually when Bamford's come into the team, it's been a lot better for them as well. It looks like Nakayama is going to have to be replaced here, Dean.
Yeah, it's a real shame for him. You hope it's not a lasting injury, but it didn't look very nice for him. One of those where he's not even expecting it either. It's not like he can be set for the contact, but also not a bad thing to be able to bring on your top scorer.
He's only just back from injury though, isn't he, Helik? I wonder if that means another sort of shift in position in that back line. It started with a back 4 today. They hadn't done that under Brian Reitner in recent times, or in last week anyway. They've gone back to a 3 at the back in recent matches, and it does look as if Helik is about to come on and replace the injured Nakayama. It just has the effect of piercing the momentum of the game as well, Dean, which doesn't help anyone really, because Huddersfield started quite brightly in the overall scheme of things. They conceded that chance early on when Nichols made a brilliant save from Crescencio Somerville, but apart from that, they've had good opportunities in the game, haven't they?
They have, yeah. I mean, obviously the couple of opportunities from set plays that they've had, the one for Redoni as well from distance, and actually Leeds will want a little bit more in terms of going forwards. You know, Bamford yet to have a look really at goal. Obviously Somerville looks like he's moving okay now, but I think the more stop-start it can be, I think it certainly doesn't harm Huddersfield, because they'll have the backing of the support just to lift them once again.
Nakayama comes off, Helik goes on, and we'll wait and see exactly how they decide to reconfigure that back line. Mikael Helik actually just came onto the pitch thinking that Nakayama was going to go off on the far side, because the idea is you do go off at the nearest point. He was right over on the far touchline and he's walked across the pitch. Actually, that's probably signalling the fact that this might be quite a bad injury, the fact that they wanted him to take the shortest route into the dressing room.
Yeah, I mean, even though he'd gone down for a second time and they'd already given him some treatment before, the physio was still doing the manipulations to his knee, I guess checking on exactly what might have happened.
Dorking had taken a 2-0 lead against Chesterfield. Unbelievable, really. That lead will still be 23 points before the others play this afternoon. No doubt that anyone's going to be able to try and change that, but Dorking with a 2-0 victory will go up to 18th, out of the relegation zone, above Wealdstone and Fylde ahead of today's game, although Wealdstone have 3 games in hand
over them, a significant result in the National League. Manchester City Everton is still 1-0 at half-time in the WSL, and we're eventually back underway for hopefully a sustained spell of football, because we've had the last 5 minutes been quite punctuated. In fact, we haven't had much at all.
I think also it's a big change actually for Huddersfield. Helik has gone in alongside Leeds. Pearson is now playing more as a centre-back, as a right-back, and Spencer has gone over to left-back. So definitely a switch up from Huddersfield's perspective.
Yes, indeed. A disrupting of tactics early in the game for Huddersfield, who had actually started quite brightly. Can Leeds United take advantage of that? Leeds second best for large periods in the game with Leicester. Should have been 2 down before their epic fight back began, but they have been in largely good form recently and have shown character too. Here is Ampadu guiding the ball back to Meslier. Meslier on the edge of the penalty area. It has only been 72 hours since 5 of this team started against Chelsea. Ball out towards the wide right position for Mellier's left foot, but it's in between Nonto and Archie Gray. It goes out of play and away for a throw-in, which Brodie Spencer will take over on the left-hand side now.
Yeah, that doesn't help things for Meslier. Striking the ball straight out. Ampadu is a player that I think's really impressed me. Seems to have finally settled, and whether it's midfield or at centre-back, I think he's looked excellent for Leeds United. It's good to see him settled.
Played in midfield, didn't he, in midweek? But he's done very well in that centre-back partnership with Rodon, and he's just sent the ball high and out towards the left-hand side inside the Huddersfield half, where it's collected by the slender figure of Patrick Bamford. It goes back infield to the athletic Kamara. He guides it back into the path of Rodon, and then Archie Gray, still out on the far side, calling for the ball, didn't get it from Gruev, who turned and played it back towards his goalkeeper Ilian Meslier. Back it goes to the right-hand side. Rodon with Gray high up the field. Infield it goes instead to Jorginho Ruter. Gray's got it now right side, plays it back to Jorginho Ruter, who goes down the outside of the defender towards the byline now, attacking the goal away to our left. Jorginho Ruter still holding onto the ball. He clips it back into the path of Archie Gray, and then they just drop a little bit deeper back towards the halfway line, Leeds, to change the angle of the attack. They go diagonally into Crescencio Somerville, come off the left-hand side, but his ball back to Nonto was poor, and Rodoni then tried to nudge it out to the left-hand side where Berzog was waiting for it, but it was just a little bit off radar and dribbled out for a throw-in.
Yeah, but they're the moments where you have got to be better if you're Huddersfield, because Leeds are going to have the bulk of possession, so you've got to make sure that you don't just give it straight back to them as Rodoni did there.
Huddersfield 0, Leeds United 0 in the EFL Championship on Talksport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. I've been doing that intermittent fasting thing recently, and talking about McDonald's is not great when you've still got 15-20 minutes to go before you can have something to eat.
No, exactly. I've just been fast eating.
76% of the ball has been with Leeds United in the opening sort of 29 minutes of the game. Another injury here, another punctuation in play. This time Kasumu has gone down. Ethan Ampadu is being spoken to about his challenge, and he's getting a little bit upset, I think, Ampadu, the captain of Leeds United, about the issues that are being borne about by the constant stoppages that we're having here at the John Smith Stadium.
Yeah, but look, Nakayama had to go off because he's got a proper injury. Kasumu did go down earlier when he was challenged by, I think it was Kamara in midfield. I wonder whether that's lingered.
Have Leeds United got into their proper rhythm yet?
They haven't been able to. I think Huddersfield have been very good actually in the way that they've set up and denied Leeds space, and actually said we're going to play a reasonably high line and see if you can get past that. A lot of it's been to feet, hasn't it, for Leeds so far, and that's comfortable for Huddersfield. When you've got that pace that Leeds have got, you've got to start to push Huddersfield back with balls over the top. keeping tabs on Jorginho has just startled them a little bit creatively as well. But there have been a couple of spells where they've got in very quickly, Leeds United. That first chance on the right-hand side where they slalom their way through the Huddersfield defence with relative ease, actually, was something to be concerned about if you're Andre Brighton-Wrighter. Here come Leeds United once again on the attack. Kamara's broken the lines from midfield and scampered into the left wing position. On to Crescencio Somerville, who tucks it back onto Nonto, tries to get a shot away. Rodoni got there with his dyed blonde hair to block in front of his own penalty area, and it's repelled back to the halfway line, and Leeds United will start again. 32 gone, 0-0.
And when they do that, play quickly. The players' touch has been outstanding when they play quickly.
Somerville down the left, scampering forward again, helping it on to Firpo's on an inside run. Across comes Helic, puts it out of play, and it's out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area. He's been out for some time as Mikael Helic, Huddersfield top scorer, all 8 goals in the Championship this season, 4th most interceptions.
Oh, what a touch
this season. Into Nonto inside the area, hits cross into the box, tries to steer it forward into Bamford. It was a good move that from Leeds from the throw-in on the left-hand side. Ball tossed in. Nonto was played by Kamara into the edge of the penalty area. He flicked it up, went round the back of the defender, and then thrashed it through the face of goal.
Yeah, it was a brilliant little move and a great little touch over the top of Helic from Nonto, but then he only had Bamford in there and he hit it at chest height.
Here is Crescencio Somerville's corner in towards the near post. There was no one in pink attacking that, and it was headed away by Tom Lees and out towards the near side. Back to Crescencio Somerville, who looks to try and jink his way towards the edge of the box again. He gets onto his right foot, and there's a bit of space here for Gray on the edge of the D. He takes an extra touch, flicks it forward, but Jonathan Hogg will then scoop it into the air. It's not a great touch by him. It drops down, Ampadu sends it forward, and then Nonto was crunched by Matty Pearson, and the referee, after a delay, gives a free kick to Leeds United. Not a popular decision amongst the hearty Huddersfield support, who felt that was just a bit of a coming together.
Oh, it made me wince, that, because I could just tell Pearson took half a step and stopped and then went for it, and you just knew Nonto was going to get there first, and he just went in at rib height with his elbow, does Pearson. It's actually not a very nice challenge at all. Nonto is hurt by that.
Matty Pearson, who once scored an own goal whilst playing for Luton against Leeds. He's popped up with a couple of goals recently that have been quite important for Huddersfield Town, and he's inflicted a bit of damage here on Willie Nonto, who is still down and not moving particularly freely down in front of us away to our left, and the stretcher bearers come out in their bright yellow outfits and taken a few steps down the left-hand side, and they're waiting to try and see whether or not it's necessary. But you're right, he's winded by that. His left-hand side is what he's clutching as he tries to get back to a comfortable position.
I mean, just the way he went down, it was like, and the position of the elbow from Pearson into the side of Nonto, it was like hit Manhattan with one of his body punches. Very, very painful. He looks really uncomfortable, doesn't he, Nonto?
Yeah. I mean, he could have severely damaged his ribs actually in that encounter. I mean, in these parts they just think that that's normal. They're used to watching the Huddersfield Giants play at this stadium, as well as the football team. A free kick is going to be taken by Somerville. He's trying to search for Bamford or Jorginho inside the box. Nonto's trying to shrug off the injury, and it's going to be whipped in right-footed in towards the near post this time, and it's flicked on by Firpo at that near post, but couldn't reach Bamford, and cleared away by Huddersfield, and then given away rather sloppily by Kamara, and Zorba Thomas is running through the centre. He's got Gray in front of him, but Zorba Thomas is going to try and go all the way here, and Gray timed his intervention brilliantly and just about nudged it towards the far side to clear. His clearance goes back to Rodoni on the edge of the box though, and now it's picked up on the right hand side, and it's with Bergzov into the area. Across comes Ampadu, puts it behind. It's out for a corner. And from a free kick at one end for Leeds United, threatening to attack the goal away to our left, immediately Huddersfield went on the front foot, and it was all to do with sloppiness from Kamara on the halfway line.
17. Do me a favour. That was just so good from Archie Gray. He knew that Kasumu was on the right hand side and he timed it perfectly. He gave a little bit of space to Zorba Thomas and said, go on, try and take me on. The minute he stepped across, Gray was there. That was so good.
Great Uncle Eddie will be applauding from the stand, no doubt about that. 17 years of age, he's 18 in a couple of days. Here's Archie Gray. If they do come away with another clean sheet today, Leeds United, he'll have to celebrate with a 7-up. Maybe a shandy next week. Here is the corner to be taken by Zorba Thomas. 37 gone, live on Talksport. At the John Smiths, more pushing and shoving inside the penalty area as the ball comes in. Meslier has been hampered here, but he's managed to get a haymaker on the ball, punched it out towards the left. Thomas has put it ball back in again into a dangerous area, and it comes back out after a header. There was a shout of handball against Rodon inside the box. He's then been slammed by Kasumu, and Kasumu has been booked as a result of that.
Yeah, it's the right decision. I mean, he took a big chested touch away. Rodon came out to clear, and Kasumu was just looking to shoot and just crashed into Rodon.
Well, Kasumu's challenge was unnecessary, really, and Rodon went down in a crumpled heap. And Leeds United have a free kick. Nonto is back out, by the way. He's still tugging at that left side of his body with his right hand, just sort of trying to get a little bit of more movement in there, trying to feel a little bit more comfortable. He looks a little bit restricted at this moment in time. Kamara has been fouled just short of the centre circle, plays it wide to Nonto, despite the fact that the two players in front of him weren't 10 yards away. Helped on to Gray on the right hand side. His cross into the box is fended away by the retreating Tom Lees, and it's out towards the far side and away for a throw into Leeds United level with the edge of the penalty area. 7 to go before half time, still goalless.
Yeah, when they have it wide, Leeds, they don't look a genuine threat. I don't think Bamford is that player that's going to get above Heelick now, Pearson or Lees necessarily. I think they've got to play it short.
Late challenge this time by Matty Pearson, who's going to go into the book here. Or was it Zorba Thomas who goes into the book? I think it was Pearson, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Pearson,
It was definitely Pearson who made the challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad, down the back of his ankles.
That's a red card.
He's gone in from behind and he's put his studs down the back of the calf of Crescencio Somerville, and that was a dangerous, horrible challenge from Matty Pearson, who's lucky that it's only a yellow card. The referee ended up in a row with Zorba Thomas, but it was definitely Matty Pearson who inflicted the damage.
Yeah, it's a red card. It's as simple as that. It's a horrible challenge. It's one of the worst type of challenges that I see, is that where you stand on the back of the calf with pressure. The damage you could do with that is very, very lucky.
A short free kick taken by Ampadu to Crescencio Somerville. It was a bit of a waste, really. They sort of befuddled themselves with that free kick. Rodon gets it wide towards Archie Gray, and he then turns it out towards the far side. And he comes back from Firpo to halfway, and then Rodon to Ampadu, who looks up. He's got Bamford running through the centre. They chose not to try and find him. Instead, they go wide to the left with Somerville. Somerville's being booed for the fact that he's had studs raked down the back of his calf. Yeah, it wasn't his fault. Here is Gruev. Out to the left again. Firpo picks it up this time, plays it centrally. Bit of space here for Bamford, who plays the ball, tries to play it cute down the side into the box, looking for Jorginho Ruter, but it was stopped. And then as Rodoni tries to escape, he is brought down by Bamford. Bamford is being barracked by the crowd. They think he should get a yellow card. Rodoni is saying that was breaking up of a promising attack, and he's probably got a bit of a point, actually.
I think Rodoni knows what he's doing here. I think Rodoni jumps in towards Bamford to make sure he gets the contact. Yeah, Bamford's there, but Rodoni knows that he's under pressure, he's deep in his own half, he needs to just step across, take the contact.
Yeah, but the left arm of Bamford goes into the side of his face, and the fact is, if you've given a foul in those circumstances, you have to give a yellow card because it is breaking up the promising attack. And I think that's why the Huddersfield fans were a little bit upset about it.
Okay, yeah, but from my opinion, I know what Rodoni's doing. Rodoni is winning the foul, not being fouled.
Here is Nichols away to a left-hand side.
out towards the right, looking for the run of Pearson. Pearson heads the ball back to Thomas. It goes out of play off Somerville and out for a throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, with Pearson playing as a right back, what they can do is set that up. Nichols can launch that on an angle for Pearson to then either go up against Somerville or against Firpo and then win that header.
Ball is on the edge of the 18-yard box away to our right. It's played forward by Rodon into Nonto, and then a lovely turn by Jorginho Ruter, tried to swing the play out towards the left-hand side. Pearson comes across again, and then it's cleared by Nichols upfield. It's headed down, and then back towards Rodon again. Ball runs loose in midfield, won by the Bulgarian Gruev, and then Ampadu tries to add a little bit of composure by sending it over the top, and Brodie Spencer gets in front of Bamford and heads it back to his goalkeeper. 0-0, Talksport, 3 minutes to go before half-time. Leeds United, who would expect to come here and have it just a little bit easier than they have so far. Well, that might have been the case if they'd come here a couple of months ago, but not now.
Yeah, they've definitely been physical, haven't they, Huddersfield? They're not going to make it easy for Leeds, are they? They're not just going to come here and let them easily play and have a nice afternoon.
And they've always been reliable at home, Dean. They've lost just 4 of their last 15 games in the league here at the John Smith Stadium. As much as they've tumbled towards the bottom of that division, they've actually done all right at home.
Yeah, it's been turning those draws, isn't it, into victories. Only Rotherham have won fewer times this season, yet it probably feels like they've played better in certain games that they maybe should have won.
And goals are a problem as well. I think that Danny Ward scored 2 goals last week, but that was only his second and third of the season so far. That's pretty disappointing. I mean, we made a joke of it earlier, but when your centre half is your top scorer with 8 goals, I mean, can you imagine if you were the forward in this team? What would you be doing?
Oh, the embarrassment. Oh, God, imagine going in every day. And especially if Helik is the type that wants to brag about, oh, God, that would be just a nightmare.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened to you, though, mate. You would have been all right.
That wouldn't happen on my watch.
It's 0-0. It has happened up until this point between these 2 Yorkshire giants. They were giants back in the day, Huddersfield, although their star has diminished. It wasn't too long ago, though, that they were in the Premier League, and it wasn't too long ago that the Premier League looked more likely than the 3rd tier, but that has changed in recent times again. It's been an up and down existence for a number of years for this club, which is situated in the midst of the hills, woodland all around us. We can see over the top of the one-tiered stand opposite us the tops of the trees poking out over the roof as the rain comes down again in West Yorkshire. It's fiery over on the far side, the ball not really going anywhere, but limbs going in, and Rodoni feels he's been fouled. Then he turns round to the crowd and tries to elevate the noise as we get a free kick to Huddersfield right at the end. And well, Nonto had a little push, not much. Gray had a little tap, not much, but the free kick eventually was given. And now a chance for Zorba Thomas to weave some of his magic in the final seconds of the first half, Dick.
Yeah, I think Rodoni's summed up the performance actually in the first half. He's been great in terms of pressure. He's won his team 3 kicks. He's tried to get the crowd involved. And they just top it off with a goal from a set play here.
Here goes Zorba Thomas to send the ball in from the far side. 9 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. 9. That's right. Here's the corner into the free kick in towards the near post. It's sent away and it comes back out into the 6-yard box and it's stabbed home. Brilliant finish from Michael Helik, who once again standing in the right place as it came back off the goalkeeper Meslier, flicked towards goal, pushed out by the French goalkeeper, and top scorer Michael Helik was there to smash it home and give Huddersfield Town the lead just moments before half-time.
Well, I'm sure they don't care, the forwards, but he's made it even harder for him now. It's a brilliant delivery. Zorba Thomas, I mean, it's just begging to be headed. Meslier with a fantastic save, by the way, because this comes in at pace. I think it's Ward who gets the header, squeezes down towards Meslier, skipping off the surface. He does so well to keep it out from under his body. But there's a striker-like finish from Helik, sniffing out an opportunity as it rebounds and just taps it home.
9 goals for the season for Michael Helik, and his instinct in front of goal cannot be questioned, and Huddersfield Town lead against Leeds United by a goal to nil.
Again, what a weapon to have, that delivery from Zorba Thomas. You talked about the crossing, the set play delivery that he has. He should have more assists, really, with the quality that he's shown just even in this match.
Back out to Gray on the right-hand side. Leeds looking to respond. Nonto picks it up, sends it back to Gray down the right-hand side. They get towards the edge of the penalty area. Tackle comes across from Spencer, pushes it behind, it goes out for a corner kick over on the far side. Leeds have got powers of resilience. They've come from behind to win 20 points from losing positions in the Championship. Only Ipswich, who have made a good habit of doing it too, have won more. So the prospects not too bleak yet for Daniel Farker, but I think actually on the balance of chances in the first half, not necessarily play, Huddersfield might think they deserve it. Ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, whipped in by Somerville. It's loose inside the area. There was a foul there on Pearson, and the free kick has been given just inside the box for Huddersfield Town.
I'm sure that's something that the manager will talk about if they can get to half-time with this scoreline. That's only half of the job. There's plenty of players on the Leeds bench that can make a difference, but Daniel Farker will be disappointed with his team's performance. I don't think they've matched the intensity of Huddersfield.
The Ward's header from the set piece went straight towards the far post on the floor. Grappling to stop it from going over the line was Meslier. Just about got it away, but it was Helik who got there first, reacting superbly to the loose ball, and after a month out with injury, he pounced to smash the ball home, and Huddersfield Town lead against Leeds United by a goal to nil in the Championship, and Leicester, Southampton and Ipswich will all be very pleased about that. Here is Crescencio Somerville on halfway. The ball bouncing around in the air. There was a yellow card and then a red card for Jonathan Hogg. That's 2 bookable offences for him in the first half, and the referee has sent him off. Jonathan Hogg with a second yellow card. He's looking perplexed. Maybe he didn't realise he picked up the first, but he has been given 2 yellow cards by Andrew Kitchen, the referee, this time for an aerial challenge where it looked like he used his elbow, and it was on Junior Firpo, and the referee sent him off.
Well, the referee, Andrew Kitchen, had a perfect view. He was right in line with this as that ball just floated up in the air, and Hogg just stepped across with his arm but straight into the chin of Junior Firpo, and that was before the ball got anywhere near actually heading it. The referee had the perfect view and took no hesitation. I don't think Hogg can have any real complaints, because he looked across and he put his arm across before the ball was there.
I have to say, the funniest image I've seen all day is Ethan Ampadu thinking for a second it was him who was getting a yellow card and then a red, and looking absolutely stunned by the whole situation, looking to his right and realising that it had been given to Jonathan Hogg, and he turned around and he went, yeah, right up in Hogg's face straight away. The moment, I can see it in his face, the sinking feeling immediately turns to one of glee as he rubbed it into the opposite captain's face. And now Huddersfield down to 10 players, despite the fact they lead by a goal to nil, and they've got to have another rejig for the second time in the game.
I mean, just when you've got yourself ahead, you're thinking of half-time, what the manager might say, and then that happens.
Here is Bamford back to Archie Gray. Gray on the right now finding Nonto's trying to dance his way into the box. He's being watched by Herzog and Spencer, and eventually it goes out off Spencer, but there was a bit of a push from Nonto, and it's a free kick inside the box for Huddersfield. It's only the second sending off all season for Huddersfield. The previous one was in the League Cup when Jaheim Headley was sent off against Middlesbrough, and this one may be a little bit more significant. Manchester City 2, Everton 1 in the WSL. Goals from Bunny Shaw and Lauren Hemp put Manchester City in what looked like an unassailable position before Benison came back and scored in the second half just a minute or so ago.
And it's 2-1 after an hour at the Joy Stadium on the Etihad campus, and City hoping to go to the top of the table ahead of Chelsea with that victory. Dorking 2, Chesterfield 1 at half-time in the National League. Dorking at this moment moving out of the relegation zone, and here it's 1-0 to Huddersfield, and Leeds dropping points in the title race. Here's Kamara onto Firpo, out towards this left-hand side. Ball played in towards the far touchline, looking for Gray, but it's overhit. And as we reach the 8th minute of 9 added, it's still Huddersfield who lead by a goal to 0.
Yeah, Daniel Farker, of course, coat zipped right up to the chin, turned and just... Well, you can imagine what he said to the bench. He's not happy, I don't think, with this performance so far, but what an opportunity with Hogg getting sent off.
Well, you mentioned that Huddersfield had gone for the physical approach, and they had, and it had been a little bit like that for a couple of minutes prior to the sending off. They picked up a number of yellow cards very quickly, and it was unnecessary, really, and it was a little bit, I would have thought, naive of the captain to get involved in a situation like that, having booked after 20 minutes for his initial offence, and then on the stroke of half time to get done again. Here on the left hand side, the ball's been picked up by Herzog. He's run out towards the left touchline and then gone back again in towards Gruev. Gruev's gone to tussle with him, knocked him to the floor. The free kick has been given, and that could spell trouble again for Leeds United. And actually, Mellier's going over to Gruev and saying, what did you do that for?
Yeah.
Why did you make that challenge in that area? It was unnecessary to do so, and sloppily handed Zorba Thomas the chance to send a cross into the box.
Yeah, I'm sure every single Leeds fan would go over to Gruev and say, that is just so basic. You don't do that, especially at the end of a half. Just hold him up there. Don't need to make a challenge at all.
It's right by the corner flag as well, maybe 5 yards to its right. An opportunity to send it into the box. Pearson up from the back, so is Hellick, who's always a danger, as we've already found out in the game. It's whipped him right foot in towards the near post. It's over Hellick's head. It comes back towards Rodoni, edge of the area. He strikes it into a wall of pink shirts. It bounces to the right. It's collected on the far side. Herzog trying to get away from Jorginho Ruter, and it's a corner. And we've played 8 minutes and 40 seconds of stoppage time, so this should be the last kick of the first half.
Yeah, he's been excellent actually, Herzog, with having little to go with. When he has, he's got hold of it, he's driven down the sides, he's won his team corners and free kicks.
Zorba Thomas to take it right footed. He's got Hellick to aim at, so to Leeds at the far post. It's headed down, and it was a good effort from Danny Ward actually to get in at the back post and nudge that ball towards goal. Didn't have enough power to take it past Meslier, caught it. He bowls it out very quickly, and the counter attack is on. Ward gets back to make the challenge ahead of Crysencio Somerville, who is threatening to get away down the left hand side. It's out for a throw, and good working back by Danny Ward.
Yeah, excellent, because it's going to be that. It's going to be a real team effort. If they're going to get anything out of the game, it's going to be a tough second half.
Down to 10 players after their captain was sent off. Ball sent into midfield to Glenn Kamara, who tucks it to Jorginho Ruter. Leeds will want to start playing some football. Somerville onto the edge of the area. Jorginho Ruter strikes it, and it's narrowly wide of the left-hand upright by about an inch. What a drive that was from Jorginho Ruter. An excellent way to finish the first half. A spicy derby in West Yorkshire, which Huddersfield lead by a goal to 0. A goal given to them by their top scorer, central defender and leader, Michael Hellick, after a rebound off the goalkeeper from a Zorba Thomas free kick. It means that they lead at the break, but they do so with a disadvantage in terms of manpower after their captain Jonathan Hogg was sent off on the stroke of half-time. Leeds haven't lost in the Championship since December the 29th, but they'll have to come from behind if they don't want to lose this game and ground in the promotion race. At the break, Huddersfield Town lead by a goal to 0.
We'll talk to Dean Ashton about that in just a second. Elsewhere, Bristol City 0, Cardiff 0 was also a 12:30 kick-off in the Championship. That's half-time goalless in the Seven-side derby. In League 2, they were late kicking off in the grudge match between Wimbledon and MK Dons. Gone underway 15 minutes late at 12:45. That's still 0-0. National League, Dorking League, Chesterfield 2-1. Chesterfield virtually up already, but losing its second bottom Dorking. Could be significant. Very briefly here, relegation in the National League is ridiculous. 4 go down. Oxford City marooned at the bottom. Then there are 4 points separating 9 teams trying to avoid 3 relegation spots. It's going to be tight. Some big games this afternoon. WSL Man City lead Everton by 2 goals to 1. We're round the grounds on Talksport this afternoon. I'm based here at Brentford. It's a derby with Chelsea. Everton 9 without a win, host West Ham. Fulham have never lost to Brighton in the Premier League. They meet by the Thames. Newcastle haven't won any of the last 4 at home. They host Wolves today. Leaders Liverpool go to Forest at 3, and Spurs Palace commentary at 3 is also on Talksport 2. But Huddersfield 1, Leeds United 0, and Dean Ashton, Huddersfield have been absolutely filthy in that first half, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Pearson a couple of times, one with an elbow into Nonto, and then a horrible challenge on Somerville that should have been a red card anyway. So they're obviously wanting to be physical. They're wanting to make it a really tough afternoon for Leeds, but they haven't been able to temper that in the right way. And in the end, then Hogg gets himself sent off just before half-time. And they've just got wrapped up in, I think, the energy of the stadium, the type of game that it's become, and it's cost them.
It has. Jonathan Hogg's 35. He should know better. Matty Pearson's 30. The one on Somerville, he's already the one on Nonto, where he's had a dig in the ribs. He's basically seen it's Nonto and thought, he's one of their better players. You can see it in his eyes. He's looking at him, right, I'm going to give him a right dig in the ribs. I thought the referee let him off with that one. The one on Somerville was a disgrace. The ball's in a different postcode, it's in a different county, and he's raked down the back of his calf onto his Achilles. It's a shocking challenge, and I think the referee could have done more there, but what he has done, he has penalised them with the Hogg one. An experienced player booked on 20 minutes, and of all people, he gives a forearm smash to Junior Firpo, probably not going to do anybody any damage this afternoon. A very strange one from Jonathan Hogg when he really should be leading them 1-0 up against Leeds in a big derby game.
Yeah, but we do see it. We've seen it down the years, Aid, in terms of you get caught up in the occasion, in the way that the team have played in that first half, and it's trying to temper that in the right way. And Hogg's he's just not even thinking, is he? That's the problem. Whether it's Firpo or not, coming up to half time, you've got the goal. Why? I just don't understand it. I don't, from such a senior player, and actually he's let everybody down now because of that, and I hope he realises it.
And I actually feel for some of the players who have done well today. Jack Radoni's all-round game in that first half has been absolutely brilliant. He's been bordering on 8 or 9 out of 10 for me. And Sorba Thomas for the goal. The quality of that ball in, that's Premier League elite quality, isn't it?
It is. I mean, but he does it all the time, Aid. He's so consistent with his delivery, and it's a big reason why the centre-back is the top scorer, because it just means you can go and attack it, and you just know that the delivery's there, the pace is on the ball. He's not afraid to whip that in towards the goalkeeper, and that could be still an opportunity in the second half. They can win free kicks, they've got that delivery, they've got the players to go and attack it. And I think Leeds have shied away a bit, I think, in that first half. It's why they've not got into it. They've shied away from that physical side. I'm not blaming them. It's difficult to see your teammates get clattered and almost injured, but they've somehow got to get themselves into the game and get a bit of a flow. It's just been the odd little spark from Leeds.
It has. Not good enough from Leeds, especially if they really want to hunt down Leicester at the top of the table in a big Yorkshire derby, live and exclusive on Talksport at half-time. Huddersfield lead Leeds by a goal to 0, but Huddersfield are down to 10 men.
EFL Live on Talksport with McDonald's. Bring on the ultimate dream team. The classic quarter pounder with cheese and a side of fries. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
With Now, you can stream all the drama from the Premier League instantly and without a contract.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
This Sunday, bragging rights are on the line as City take on United in the Manchester derby.
Can you believe it?
Get all Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream Manchester City versus Manchester United live this Sunday from 3:30 with Now.
18 plus. Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
At Morrison's, we've price matched hundreds of products to Aldi and Lidl, whichever's cheaper. Like bananas, spaghetti, toasty loaf, Morrison's cornflakes, lettuce, cucumber, washing up liquid, vegetable oil, chicken drumsticks, plain flour, and more. More reasons to shop at Morrison's. For full terms and conditions and verification, visit my.morrisons.com/price-match-terms.
We don't spend our lives looking for a better interest rate for our savings account. We spend it looking for...
My wallet. Where's my wallet?
Searching to find...
Turmeric. It's got to be somewhere.
On the lookout for...
The car. Where did I park the car?
And needing to find...
Oh, Teddy. I'll find Teddy. I'll find him.
You can find a better interest rate in as little as 5 minutes. That's time well spent. To see what a rate change would mean for you, visit fca.org.uk/switch.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus begambleaware.org.
Come on, Ellie. Hold your nerve. You did it at the World Championships. You did it at the Paralympics. You can do it today. Yeah, this stack of dirty dishes is doing your head in, but you can hang on till Sunday. Just one more sleep.
Perform better on Sundays. Get half-price electricity, 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. with Peak Save from British Gas. Proud partners of Team GB and Paralympics GB. Ends 31st of March. T's and C's apply. Smart meter required.
Get ready for epic movies with an epic offer.
Bella's so much to discover.
Disney Plus is only $1.99 per month for 3 months.
Show them what we got.
Discover the Golden Globe winner Poor Things.
I am finding being alive fascinating.
And launch into the latest blockbuster movies like The Marvels and The Creator.
Take care of her.
I promise.
All these and more streaming this March on Disney Plus. Offer applies to the standard with ads plan and ends March 14th. Must be 18 plus without an active subscription. Auto renews at $4.99.
Early breakfast, weekday mornings from 5 on Talksport with Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual. From the goal line to the golf course, the canvas to the crease. We've got all the biggest sports stories covered. Wake up to expert debate, analysis and opinion that's guaranteed to set you up for the day. Early breakfast, weekday mornings from 5 on Talksport with Adrian Flux. Get a tailor-made quote for your commercial vehicle. Search Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual.
Monday night is game night.
The goals are calling.
Exclusive kick-by-kick commentary of Sheffield United versus Arsenal.
Coverage from 7, kick-off 8 p.m.
on Talksport.
And at half-time in League 2, it's AFC Wimbledon 0, promotion chasing MK Dons 0. And we'll keep you in touch with all the goals as they go in, not just with these lunchtime kickoffs, but this afternoon on Talksport as well. But this is Game Day Live on Talksport. Let's continue to look ahead to this weekend's Premier League action with Super 6.
The Talksport Match Predictor with Super 6. The rollover is back this March. Predict 6 correct scores for the chance to win £250,000. Get your entries in by 3 p.m. today with Super 6. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
And each week we're discussing games that are featured within Super 6. And if you're not familiar with Super 6, it's a free-to-play football game where you can win huge jackpots through your own knowledge. Simply predict 6 correct scores to win the jackpot. This March, the rollover's back. That means the Super 6 jackpot will roll over if it isn't won, meaning it could reach a whopping £1 million. £1 million. This March, the rollover is back. So this week it's £250,000, 250k, and that's not bad. Even if you don't manage to get 6 correct scores, there's more ways to win with a guaranteed £5,000 up for grabs every single round if you get the most points, and there's plenty more as well. Dean Ashton, can you quickly run through the final 3 games on the list? Let's start with the TalkSport 2 commentary this afternoon. Tottenham against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Tottenham have won their last 3 at home against Palace, scoring 8 goals, so I fancy them to win, but I fancy Palace to get a couple of goals because Tottenham don't like clean sheets. So Spurs 4, Palace 2.
Well, that'll be exciting on TalkSport 2. Spurs form has been inconsistent as of late, but they're very much in the race for the top 4. A hefty 90% of players predicting Ange Postecoglou's men to pick up all 3 points today. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest host league leaders Liverpool at the City Ground. Your Super 6 prediction for this one, Dean?
Yeah, Forest have been better, but only 1 win in 9. It's will Darwin Núñez and Szoboszlai be available? I think it's going to be quite tight. I think Liverpool will edge it 2-1.
Klopp's youngsters in fine form, and 95% of Super 6 players are expecting that to continue with a win away at Forest. And finally, the one I'm at today, Brentford-Chelsea. What's your Super 6 prediction for this derby?
Well, you won't want to hear it, Aid. I mean, Brentford are a bit of a bogey team for Chelsea, who haven't won against Brentford in 4. And I think Brentford, with their defensive players missing, will dig in for a 0-0.
Are you having a laugh? No, really, what are you going for?
I am going for 0-0.
No, you're going for 0-0. Brentford to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, they're going to dig in.
I love you for that, mate. Super 6 players are struggling to split these two, actually. Over 270,000 currently predicting a draw. It's all thanks to Super 6, and don't forget Super 6 has set up his very own Talksport League. Sign up on the Super 6 website or app using the code TALKS6. That's TALKS6, where you can also win £100 for topping the league every single round. And remember, get those predictions in by 3 p.m. today. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
The Talksport Match Predictor with Super 6. The rollover is back this March. Predict 6 correct scores for the chance to win £250,000. Get your entries in by 3 p.m. today with Super 6. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
Free kick towards the near post. It's sent away, and it comes back out into the 6-yard box, and it's stabbed home. Brilliant finish from Michael Healy, who once again standing in the right place as it came back off the goalkeeper Meslier, flicked towards goal, pushed out by the French goalkeeper, and top scorer Michael Hillick was there to smash it home and give Huddersfield Town the lead just moments before half-time. Crescencio Somerville on halfway. The ball bouncing around in the air. There was a yellow card and then a red card for Jonathan Hogg. That's 2 bookable offences for him in the first half. And the referee has sent him off.
Yeah, 1-0 at half-time to Huddersfield, but they are down to 10 men. Second half coming up live and exclusive here on Talksport as Dorking take a 3-1 lead against the National League runaway leaders Chesterfield. Tom Blair on 48. Dorking 3, Chesterfield 1 to ease their relegation fears. Started the day second bottom in the table. I'm still recovering from Dean Ashton's 0-0 prediction. Brentford-Chelsea. Brentford have got the whole back 4 out. They've got Ivan Toney up front. I mean, are you sure you want to go with that? Are you still okay with that?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. When was the last time they kept a clean sheet?
It's just unbelievable.
He's done it just to wind me up.
I love a bold prediction. I wonder what Andre Brighton Wright said to his players before kick-off, before they went out of the dressing rooms, whether he wanted them to get stuck in. It felt like a game plan, and has that now backfired? And what's he telling them now? Bearing in mind they're down to 10 men, without that single pivot, if you like, in Jonathan Hogg, without that tenacious midfielder and that leader.
Yeah, look, it's going to be difficult. Of course it is. I think you could see by the way the team went out that that's probably what the manager wanted, but he wouldn't have wanted them to take it as far as they did. Pearson should have been sent off. Hogg was. It's going to make it difficult. The only probably saving grace is that they have got Rodoni, who's playing higher up, who can now slot in as a midfield player, and then so it basically means a 4-4-1. Means a lot of work for Ward, of course, and they're going to have to really dig in and defend. But I expect a different lead. I'm pretty sure Daniel Farke would have gone in there and say, you're going to accept this, you're going to accept to almost being bullied. You need to respond in a football way.
Yeah, and they haven't played much football, have they? Bearing in mind the quality they've got up front, we haven't seen a lot of talent from those guys for Leeds.
A little bit passive. There's been a couple of moments where, you know, when they move it really quickly, that you think, yeah, you can really see the quality, and they've opened Huddersfield up. But I don't know, just a lack of intensity for me in terms of, you know, teams are going to want to be at full throttle against you as a lead side, and you've at the minimum you've got to match that, and then your quality will shine through. I still expect them to win though.
Well, let's see. They played Kim Wilde's Kids in America, an 80s classic here at Brentford earlier, and Kim Wilde's joining Virgin Radio soon. Sundays 10 till 2 will be worth checking out. You can listen to Virgin Radio via the Talksport app, which is free to download and easy to use. So back to our commentary. Leeds were a goal down to Leicester last Friday, 1-3-1. They're a goal down to 10-man Huddersfield, live on Talksport right now. Let's see how this script goes today. Second half with former England striker Dean Ashton and your commentator Sam Matterface.
Well, they're going to make a change at half-time to get that tigerish, tenacious
tenacious midfield player into the team. Alex Matos comes off the bench on loan from Chelsea to replace Danny Ward. It means a slight shift around for Huddersfield Town. Once again, they've had to make several adjustments in the first half, with Nakayama going off, Hogg eventually being sent off, and now Ward being taken off at half-time. So Nichols will be the goalkeeper. I think it'll be a back four of Pearson, Helik, Lees and Spencer. Redoni's gone out to the right-hand side. Matos and Kasumo in the middle of the park, with Thomas on the left and Bergzog on his own up top. And Leeds United attacking the goal away to our right, all in pink against those blue and white stripes of Huddersfield Town, have Meslier in goal, Gray, Rodon, Ampadu and Firpo the back four, Gruev and Kamara in midfield, Nonto, Jorginho and Somerville behind Bamford in attack. No changes for them. Dean Ashton, what do you make of that alteration from Brighton right now?
Well, he probably just feels he doesn't want Redoni maybe in there with that role, and wants him a little bit freer out wide, with Matos coming in. That'll be his job, just to sit alongside Kasumu now and stop that ball going into Jorginho, who'll want to try and get the space.
Here come Leeds United down the right-hand side with Willie Nonto sending it centrally into the path of Gruev, then back out to Willie Nonto on the right-hand side, and then Jorginho skips past the challenge of Matos. Into the box he goes, he skips past another challenge, and then as he gets past Kasumu, he tries to shoot left-footed, but it swirls off the outside of his boot, and it squirms out towards the far side and goes out for a throw-in right on the opposite side of the ground. It was a bit of a wild finish in the end, but the set-up play was excellent. The feet superb from Jorginho Ruter.
Yeah, I mean, the first part, you're right. Past Matos, little jink past Thomas, cuts inside Kasumu, ready to shoot on his left foot. Woeful. Absolutely woeful. When it goes out for a throw-in, and you're actually inside the area when you're shooting, and it goes out for a throw-in,
you know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Huddersfield Town lead by 1-0, and Huddersfield haven't beaten Leeds since 2017. Here's Nonto inside the area, connected by Spencer, but the ball is cleared to the far side. They've started on the front foot though, Leeds, with Kamara trying to get away from Matos. Matos nabs the ball. Kasumu forward up towards the halfway line, but he overhit his pass forward into Zorba Thomas, and there's a bit of frustration there amongst the Huddersfield Town fans because they've handed the ball back to Leeds United with relative ease.
Again, look, it's so important. It seems simple, but it is really important, because you give your defenders a rest. If you can get up the pitch, if you can get that ball into Thomas, into Bergzorg, just give the defensive players a rest.
Here's Zorba Thomas on the near touchline, running up towards the halfway line. He plays it forward, tries to go beyond Archie Gray. Gray's trying to stick with him and does that, blocks the cross, the ball goes behind and away for a corner, and again Zorba Thomas acts as conductor and tries to raise the noise levels inside the John Smith Stadium, where it's still 1-0 to Huddersfield. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Leeds United with Meslier in goal, Gray, Rodon, Ampadu and Firpo the back four, Gruev and Kamara, Nonto, Jorginho, Somerville behind Bamford in attack. All in pink, defending the goal away to our left, and defending for the first time at the start of the second half after what's been a good start by Daniel Farke's team. Here comes the corner from Zorba Thomas. Once again, a decent delivery to the far post. Lees was underneath it but couldn't connect properly. Archie Gray smuggles it to the far left-hand side. From inside the left full-back position, he hits it high and long up into opposition territory. Spencer's got Nonto to deal with, who was bearing down on him in that left wing position, and it's hoisted out for a throw-in over on the far side in front of the Kilner Bank stand opposite us. And Leeds United have possession with Gruev. Gruev in centre field. Back to Rodon on the halfway line. Huddersfield's last victory in 2017. Izzy Brown and Michael Hefele scoring the goals. That Hefele goal, by the way, was an 89th minute dramatic winner in a really spicy derby. It was the last of 3 straight town wins, actually, against Leeds United. Since then, Leeds have come out on top in every meeting between the two, and certainly did so at Ellen Road earlier in the season, where they were 4-0 up at half-time, Dean, and only a consolation goal from Helik ended up sparing 1 or 2 Terriers' blushes.
Oh, that's a good ball.
Nichols sending it high into the air, but it doesn't reach Zorba Thomas. It's cut out by Archie Gray.
Yeah, maybe not. The thing is, it's I can't tell you how slow Leeds have been in terms of they've not played like it's a derby. Huddersfield are playing like it is a derby. Leeds aren't playing like it's a derby so far in this game. They've only had one shot on target.
Do you think that Mateo Joseph will be a little bit disappointed that, one, he didn't get the nod today after scoring 2 goals at Stamford Bridge, but two, also the fact that where it has been a little bit lacking in dynamism going forward, maybe he will feel he deserves a little opportunity in this second half.
Absolutely.
Here on the left hand side, Firpo with a cross into the box. It takes a deflection, goes behind and away for the first corner of the second half to Leeds United. 5 minutes into the second period. Mateo Joseph on the bench today after scoring twice in midweek. Jane Anthony, Dan James offering pace from the bench as well, and Dan James just going out to warm up away to our left hand side as the second half gets into full swing. Crescencio Somerville has only just got over to the far touchline to take this corner kick, and Leeds United are 1-0 down, by the way, in this game, but they haven't conceded a second half goal in the last 10 championship games dating back to Boxing Day.
That's some record, by the way.
It's pretty impressive. Kamara up to the edge of the area, round the corner by Gruev, into Crescencio Somerville, back to Gruev. Nonto down the left hand side, appeals for offside. The ball breaks though from Nonto, and then there's a foul by Kamara, and he gives away the free kick as Bergsorg attempts to go on the counter attack. Referee Andrew Kitchen says nothing else doing, and a free kick is given to Huddersfield Town. Lee Nichols making the point that, again, that's the breaking up of a promising attack. Why wasn't a yellow card given?
Yeah, absolutely a fair point. Stopping the counter-attack for Huddersfield. And just, again, I know it seems like a really small thing, but the way Somerville went over, it took an age to go over. It is those little things where that can rub off on everybody,
and it can just take the momentum out of your play, even if you've started well, as they have done at the start of the second half. Here's Jorginho trying to swirl the ball forward, but he's overhit that pass down the right, and Nonto, who is a sprinter, is going to struggle to get there, and he missed it by about 2 yards in the end, but he gave it a really good goal. He just turns around and he looks at Jorginho as if to say, idea was right, execution just a little bit too amplified, I'm afraid. And it remains 1-0 to Huddersfield Town, who have the ball away to our right-hand side in the left full-back position on Talksport. Leeds started the day 10 points better off than at the same stage of their championship promotion season under Marcelo Bielsa, which sort of shows how well they've applied themselves. But also, the fact that they're only in second place shows you how competitive it has been in this division. It's been ridiculous. Speak to any Leeds fan in the run-up to this game and they will tell you that even factoring in the Derby Day nature and the change of manager, this is a game they should win. But looking around the division as well, knowing how competitive it is, you're not surprised when a result tips up the apple cart in the Championship.
No, you don't. But I tell you what, there's going to be a couple of very, very unhappy teams come the end of the season that probably in other seasons would have been automatically promoted with the tally that I'm sure they'll end up with.
Nonto through the legs of Spencer, and then another elbow comes out into his face. He goes down. He's told to get up by the Huddersfield fans. Matos is then pushed to the floor by Jorginho, and the referee goes over just to check on Nonto's progress. He gets up. He's holding his nose. He's shaking his head. He thinks he's been roughly treated. What did you think?
No, I think it's a little bit embarrassing, that from Nonto. He's holding his nose. Yeah, it was his chin that was contacted, and it was only a light graze.
Here down the left, Spencer has burst away from defence into Bergsorg. Bergsorg tries to cut infield. It's dispossessed by Archie Groves. Done brilliantly, by the way. Again, has looked at home, and there was some question marks about his pace in behind. It happened to him, I think, in the game against Preston at the end of last year, so 2023. And a couple of times Leicester's wingers got in behind him in that game on the Friday night. But he's dealt with the pace of Zorba Thomas and anything that has been thrown at him today quite well.
Oh, I mean, look, with his age and experience, of course he is going to be bypassed at times. He's going to get it wrong, of course, as he learns. I don't think he's slow in particular, but he might just get caught out with his positioning. Again, he's looked very comfortable today.
Yeah. Here is Crescencio Somerville moving towards the edge of the area. A little reverse pass into Junior Firpo. Firpo, who sends the ball in towards the near post, finds Bamford at the near post, who takes it in, miscontrolled it, goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side.
Bamford, is he playing?
He is, yeah.
He has not had a sniff. Not a sniff in this game, which is incredible considering the attacking talent that they have. For him not to even look like he's going to get a chance, and he's not really even been involved, to be honest.
No shots on target, no key passes. 17 touches up until now, and 13 passes at an accuracy of 84.46%, but nothing significant from Patrick Bamford. A little drag back and pass forward by Kamara, doesn't quite come off. He slips on the ball, it runs through to Helik, the goal scorer, who finds Rodoni far side. Ampadu connects with him, commits a foul, free kick, and again no yellow card forthcoming. Andrew Kitchen now being barracked by the supporters, who every time a foul goes against their team are standing up and waving their hands in the air, suggesting that a yellow card should be dispatched to their foes. But the referee unmoved up until this point and refuses to do so.
No, I mean, that wasn't a yellow card challenge at all. It was minimal contact on Rodoni. But again, it's just another example. I'm talking about the absolute basics. The running hard, the challenging, the getting there first, the winning the second balls as it knocks down. Huddersfield still have been by far the better team in that sense.
I mentioned it to you in the first half. Do you think it's anything to do with the 72-hour turnaround?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But you've got to lift yourselves as players, or the manager, I think, has got the players to change things, so he'll look for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're warming up vociferously down the near touchline now. A lot of the substitutes for Leeds United, including Connor Roberts, who's just gone on an amazing sprint down the touchline as the free kick comes in from Zorba Thomas, aimed towards Helik once again. It's headed away by Jorginho, and then further away towards the edge of the box, and Kasumu strikes it on the half volley, and it goes over the top of the crossbar from some distance out, and it's going to be a goal kick which is taken quickly by Melia. He wants to get things moving once again. Leeds away from the Premier League for 16 years last time they were relegated. They'd like to ensure that this absence was a little shorter, but they are going to have to win most of their matches if that is going to be the case. Gray forward, he's overcooked that pass, and it's gone straight out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. And substitutes are going to be made now by Leeds United as they look to freshen up this team. He's given them 15 minutes, Dean. He's decided that he hasn't seen enough, and as a result he's going to make alterations in a bid to turn the tide here against the 10 players of Huddersfield Town, as Cardiff take the lead away at Bristol City by 1-0. They're into injury time in the Women's Super League, with Manchester City looking to go top against Everton. They lead by 2-1, and Dorking still lead Chesterfield by 3-0. And in League 2, it's AFC Wimbledon 0, MK Dons 0. Ampadu trying to get back into a left full-back position to try and clear the ball from Rodoni, but he ran out of room and has given away a corner over on the far side. So therefore yet another opportunity for Huddersfield to create from a set-piece thing.
Something as simple as winning a corner. The reaction from the home support. Just a lovely little bit of centre-forward play from Bergzorg. Took it down on his knee, flicked it around the corner to Rodoni, who took it down to that far corner. Ampadu just made a mistake.
I think the Cardiff goal came from Perry NG down at Ashton Gate, and they lead by 1-0 on Talksport. Bradford against Notts County has just been postponed because of a water-logged pitch in League 2. Here's the corner on the far side by Zorba Thomas. It's headed towards goal by Pearson, and it narrowly drops over the top of the crossbar. Well, he got underneath it there, Matty Pearson. He sent the ball towards the far corner. Melier was certainly interested as it went towards that. He looked up almost forlornly as it dropped over the top of the bar.
Yeah, I mean, he does really well, Pearson, here to direct the header towards goal, because he's been wrestled at the same time, and it's an outswinger, so the pace isn't necessarily on the ball. And you're right, it was close to that far post. Melier, I think if it had been in, I don't think he would have got there because he hadn't reacted.
How good, what level are we talking, are these deliveries from Zorba Thomas?
Well, how often do we see, Premier League players hitting the front man, over-hitting? I can't think of one he's got wrong yet. I can't think of one that hasn't been a good delivery.
So that questions, what is it about him that means that he's playing for a championship team when his delivery is so deadly that every ball he puts into the box is convertible?
I'm not sure. I can't see why you wouldn't want someone like Zorba Thomas in your squad.
Here is Crescencio Somerville down the left-hand side of the Huddersfield box. He tries to centre it to Bamford, but it's cleared away by Healy out towards the far touchline. Does he not do enough in open play that gives him the level of contribution that a Premier League team can sort of carry?
No, I've seen enough. Whenever I've watched him, I don't think he lacks effort or understanding of the position he plays. It's just the teams want to take a chance. They'll feel like it's a chance taking.
Oh, lovely little turn by Jorginho Ruter. A back heel into Crescencio Somerville. Offside flag maybe should have gone up there. The referee and linesman didn't conspire to give an offside, and Healy then dispossesses Somerville and clicks it clear over the halfway line. Bergzog tries to dart in between two centre-backs, doesn't get there ahead of Rodon, and the ball goes back to Meslier, who plays a risky pass, but Bergzog can't intervene, and Leeds United bring it clear. 1-0 to Huddersfield. Maybe one that's on the radar for the summer, though. When people are trying to save money and not spend as much, maybe one of the promoted sides might take a chance on him, you know. Not that I'm trying to do Huddersfield out of their set-piece weapon.
Well, you are.
Goal for Dorking. What? Are you kidding me? It's 4-1 to Dorking against Chesterfield. What's happened with Chesterfield? Have they just gone on holiday or something? Oh, we've got a 23-point advantage. It doesn't matter anymore. Three changes for... I didn't see Dan James then. He was there hiding behind the fourth official. He's small enough to be able to do that. 3 changes. Archie Gray comes off, Nonto comes off, Kamara comes off, James on, Pirro on, and Roberts on. And Roberts will be a like-for-like change at right back. James with like-for-like for Nonto. And Pirro going in behind, I think, Bamford alongside Ruter. Jorginho Ruter.
Yeah, with that extra man, they can afford to have an extra attacking player than just maybe just the one midfielder in there, in Gruev.
They've taken Kamara out of that midfield now, and there's Dan James trying to affect the play immediately, but Matos has robbed him of it and then rather aggressively ran diagonally through the middle of the pitch. He's got the option to play it out to Rodoni, but he took too long and then fell over. And he sort of tripped himself up there. Did he catch his toe picks in the ice?
I don't know. It's always quite funny when you know you're going and it's just...
and you're trying desperately to hold on. Flailing around. You know, it was the face plant was coming, but he was desperate to try and hold it off for as long as possible. He hasn't got as far to go as some, though, Matos, has he? He's small and stocky in the middle of the park. Alex Matos gets it back to Pearson on the edge of the area. He kicks clear. Connor Roberts forward down the right-hand side. He then heads it in towards Dan James. It bounces in midfield. It's a late challenge by Jorginho Ruter. He goes into the side of Matos. It's going to be a yellow card, and a yellow card that is warmly welcomed.
Yeah, it's not a goal, I reassure you. It's just a yellow card for a Leeds player.
Manchester City have gone top of the WSL thanks to a victory over Everton by 2-1. Cardiff lead 1-0 away at Bristol City. Huddersfield 1-0 up here. Dorking are going out of the relegation zone in the National League thanks to their victory over Chesterfield, unless Chesterfield can come back from 3 goals down in the last 20 minutes, which looks unlikely the way they're playing today. And it's 0-0 between Wimbledon and MK Dons in that grudge match in League 2. Dorking got 18th above Wealdstone and Fylde as a result of that victory today. They'll be absolutely delighted that their worries about relegation are eased just a little bit. We'll be around our grounds with team news in just a few seconds here on Talksport. Around the grounds with Adrian Durham throughout the course of the afternoon from 2:30. All the goals from the EFL Championship and the Premier League and beyond into League 1 and League 2. Shall we start at the City Ground? I think we shall, because it's a big old day for both Nottingham Forest and Liverpool. Liverpool haven't won at Forest since 1984. So who have they selected in order to beat their hoodoo? We'll find out in just a second, because James has sent the ball into the edge of the penalty area. It's come back to the edge of the box. There's a foul there, though, by Ruter on Pearson, so it will be a free kick. So we'll ask Jeff Peters that question. Do they have any of their big hitters back to help break their hoodoo?
Well, they're still without Mo Salah. Darwin Núñez is on the bench along with Soboslai and Endo. Andy Robertson has recovered from illness and plays. First league start for Bobby Clark. Divock Origi preferred up front for Forest, with a Awoniyi dropping to the bench. Toffolo, Omobamidele and Yates all get starts for a Forest side, one place above the drop zone.
64 gone here. It's still Huddersfield Town 1, Leeds United 0 into the Premier League, and Tottenham Hotspur, where Palace's record against Spurs is really poor. How does Oliver Glasner plan to change that today, Alex Crook?
Well, the return of Eberechi Eze after a month out won't do Glasner any harm. Eze for Edouard is Palace's only change. Spurs, meanwhile, welcome back Udogie from injury, while Bentancur and Werner also come in. It's Spurs against Palace.
Crescencio Somerville takes the ball in from the left touchline. He scoops it forward. Goalkeeper's come out a long way here, and he's judged it brilliantly because Firpo had broken from the left full-back position, and he'd gone in the inside to try and get a run on the full-back. And he burst into the edge of the box, but Nichols had come steaming off his line, Dean.
Yeah, it was really, really important goalkeeping. A lovely little dinked pass from Somerville. Firpo, rightly so, should be getting forward and should be driving into the middle if he can do.
Now we're going to go off to the GTAC Community Stadium. Injuries galore for Brentford at the back, who makes it back into the team as they welcome Chelsea. Joe Shannon.
Ethan Collins replaces Ben Mee, who's out for the season with a broken ankle. Roerslev, Jan Elton, Wisser also come in as part of 4 changes. 5 alterations for Chelsea, who go to a back 3. Colwell, Chilwell, Gallagher and Palmer all start. Petrovic returns in goal.
Off to Goodison Park. Everton, buoyed by getting 4 points back, are looking to complete the double over West Ham United, Matt Jones.
They are indeed, Sam, and Sean Dyche makes 2 changes from the draw at Brighton as Onana and Beto come in for Gay and Calvert-Lewin. West Ham, meanwhile, named the same 11 who beat Brentford 4-2, but Calvin Phillips is back on the bench after his suspension. It's Everton against West Ham.
Leeds on the attack here, trailing by a goal to 0 in the Championship. Back off to Newcastle, to Fulham in just a second. But Somerville has found Bamford, who's just dropped from the edge of the penalty area into midfield. He's guided it back to Gruev, far side the left. Firpo into Ampadu. Ampadu with a chance to spring, almost passed it diagonally into the path of Bergzog and gave it away. He found... Eventually rode on, who finds James down the right into Roberts, into the centre, tucked in by Bamford, arriving in the box, and it's 1-1. Brilliant move. Roberts with the cross from the right hand side, and Bamford tucked it in inside the 6-yard box with a poacher's finish. It's his 7th goal in 11 games. He's hit a real purple patch at just the right time, and he's come up with the goal that has levelled the match at the John Smith Stadium. It's 10-man Huddersfield 1, Leeds United 1.
Yeah, and that's the joy of being a striker. You can be invisible, you can be a ghost within the game, and then it's just down to being alive when it comes into the penalty area. He ends up tucking it in from 2 yards out. Connor Roberts doesn't even look, he just flashes it across the box. Bamford makes sure he gets ahead of Pearson. He just taps home the easiest finish he'll have all season.
Absolutely superb from Patrick Bamford, and Connor Roberts, who they signed from Burnley in the January transfer window, getting up on that right-hand side. And what a change that was from Daniel Farke. Big call to take off Archie Gray, who's a bit of a fan's favourite and a bit of a hero, and didn't do too badly in the game, to replace him with a specialist right-back, a right-back who got up on that right-hand side, was fed by James, flashed across the box, and there was Bamford to nudge it home. Let's go off to Newcastle, whose defence has leaked goals galore in the last few weeks, and today they take on a side with the 3rd most wins in the Premier League since Christmas Eve. That's Wolverhampton Wanderers, and here's Steve Harmison.
Yeah, changes galore, big changes for Gary.
We've lost Steve Harmison there. Big changes for Gary O'Neill, we're hearing, and we'll get to him for 14 years in just a second. But we have got a corner here for Leeds United on this right-hand side, which Daniel James is going to take. It's 1-1 on Talksport between Huddersfield Town, down to 10 men since just before half-time when their captain Jonathan Hogg was sent off, and Leeds United. Right-footed cross from this near side. Leeds in action on Talksport 2 on Tuesday night as the ball goes towards the back post, and arriving was Rodon, and the ball was flicked out by Tom Lees and out to the far side and away for a throw-in, which is quickly taken by Leeds, who are on the attack again. This is Crescencio Somerville, edge of the area, tucking the ball back onto his right foot, looks up, looks to try and feed it out towards the near side. Roberts again has got it here. Connor Roberts tucking it into James. He's got Pirou just down the right-hand side, and Pirou gets hold of it, then pokes it forward. James is going to try and get down to the byline to get it across, but he can't get there, and Heelick just makes sure that it goes out of play, and it's away for a goal kick away to our right. The Leeds fans think that should have been a corner. We might ask Dean Harmison.
Not a bad bowler in my time.
I did hear that, actually. We'll ask Dean in just a second, but first of all, let's go off to Craven Cottage. Still no Paulinho for Fulham, but they have a good record against Brighton, Ollie Klink.
Yeah, Fulham are unbeaten in all 7 Premier League meetings with the Seagulls, Sam. They're unchanged from their win at Old Trafford last weekend. Meanwhile, Brighton makes 7 changes from their FA Cup loss in midweek. Just 4 survivors from that game. Steele, Dunk, Van Hecke and Estupiñán all start, with the likes of Lamptey, Lallana, Enciso and Ferguson all coming into the side too.
Newcastle against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Sven Botman is back from the FA Cup game where he was rested in midweek. He's in the defence alongside Fabian Schär. Trippier plays at right back. Dan Burn back in at left back today. Jacob Murphy, Isaac starts today. Gordon in that team as well. Pedro Neto starts for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Well won by Spencer as James tries to escape down this right-hand side, and Huddersfield have it back again. Sorba Thomas switches to play from right side to left with a beautiful ball out to Redoni, who chests it down on halfway, tucks it back into Pearson, and Pearson sees it back to the goalkeeper. 20 minutes to go. Leeds have got to try and find a way to win this game, because not winning against 10 men, a team that is languishing towards the bottom of the Championship, Derby Day or not, in the title race that they are in, bearing in mind how good the others are, they have to put 3 points on the board, don't they?
Yeah, and I think they feel they will. They're just starting to tire Huddersfield with those substitutions that made a big difference, just livened up the forward line. They're starting to do things a lot quicker. It's going to be an incredible effort if they hang on for a point, Huddersfield.
Somerville into the centre, steered away by Lees out towards the far side. It goes out of play and away for a Leeds United throw. They've come back from difficult circumstances before. They're going to make changes here, though. Karoma and Headley about to come on for the home team. And it's 3rd and 4th substitutions for them. Off comes Spencer. Headley will come on for him. And Karoma, who's he going to come on for? And they're still waiting for the ball to go up. It's going to be Bergzog,
reluctantly,
who comes off, but he's certainly not in any rush, that's for sure.
No, he's had a good game. He's had a really good game. It's been difficult, obviously, in the second half. Nice that he wants to stay on still, even in a game like this.
Even in a game like this.
Well, I mean, as a forward where you just stood up there.
I can imagine.
Trying to get on the end of balls that are just whacked forwards.
It's not the nicest role, is it?
No.
18 to go. Headley is on, and so is Karoma. Karoma's got quite a lot of energy. Can play in off the left, but he'll play as the lone striker in this system now. And Spencer's been replaced at left back by Headley, who will watch now as the ball comes in from the left-hand side as Leeds look at it. So they're Huddersfield right, back with Crescencio Somerville, travels infield. They've reverted to a sort of 4-4-1 formation the longer the game's gone on, but a lot of the time that has developed with Matos dropping into the back line and really stiffening things up, so it looks like a back 5 at times. Here is Pirro in the middle of the park, shooting from distance right down the middle of the goal. Rised over the top of the crossbar, raises over the top of the crossbar, and goes out and away for a goal kick, away to our right-hand side. This is Talksport. And remember, when you wake up on Monday morning, Jeff Stelling will be back to wake you up at breakfast with Ali McCoist as they pour over all the weekend's results. They'll be looking back at the Manchester derby, from where the Sunday session comes tomorrow afternoon from 1:30 with Hugh Wozencroft. Monday Night Football is Sheffield United against Arsenal, live in the Premier League. So when Liverpool and Manchester City have played their games and posted their results, Arsenal will look to respond live on Talksport on game night on Monday night. Jorginho Rutter trying to send the ball over the top of the defence. Matos just kept his position well, followed Crescencio Somerville. And the offside player gone up against Somerville anyway, and it will be a free kick just short of the halfway line. You said they will feel as if they will get the goal, Leeds United, that will get them all 3 points, but they're going to have to work hard for it, I think.
Yeah, they will, of course they will, but I think with the players they've got on the pitch and the fact of how deep Huddersfield are, you know, they know they're going to create some opportunities, and as Huddersfield tire even more so, it's about, you know, you have got to believe and just be patient that it'll come, even if it ends up being, you know, right at the end of the game.
And they've started to post points themselves, because on Darren Moore's departure from Huddersfield in late January, the Terriers sat 21st on 28 points from their first 29 outings, but caretaker boss John Worthington inspired a bit of an upturn in form, starting with the 4-0 thrashing of relegation rivals Sheffield Wednesday here. And although they were defeated by Southampton 5-3, they took the lead in that game, and they bounced back again with a triumph against Sunderland by 1-0. They lost to Hull City agonisingly in a 2-1 defeat not so long ago as well, which was the end of Worthington's tenure, and that was where Brighton Reitner came in, presided over the Watford victory, and now is 15 minutes away with 10 players from securing a point against title-chasing Leeds. But Leeds have a corner, and James has it on the far side, and he will send this in right-footed. He's got Roden to aim at. Ampadu's in there as well. It's aimed towards Pirro at the near post. The header away is by Pearson. It breaks in the box, and Zorba Thomas has kicked it into the sky. It's come down from a very high height. It's dropped in the box. It's back to Connor Roberts, and now on the right side of the area is Ruter. Jorginho Ruter finds Connor Roberts. He plays it against the defender. It came back off the hand of Roberts and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. It remains 1-1, Dean.
Yeah, and again, really important, I think, that Leeds fullbacks get involved when they have really good possession on either side. They're just able to either over or underlap the wide player, but they've still got to create the chances. It's not like there's been a plethora of actual opportunities.
It hasn't, no.
In that one moment for Bamford to tap in, but they're not particularly banging on the door.
Now, they've only had 2 attempts on target in the entire game. They're coming down the left now, though, with Crescencio Somerville into the area. Sends the ball across the face of goal. It seemed to strike Pearson inside the area. It was cleared away. Leeds fans thought that might well have been a handball. Wasn't given by the referee. Of course, no VAR in the Championship. Back with Ampadu. Across to the edge of the centre circle. And now it's collected by Rodon. Out towards the left, and Junior Firpo once more. He travels towards the corner of the penalty area, pokes it into Somerville's path. So often been the match winner. Sends across towards the far post, and Headley just allows it to go beyond his body and out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side before he can reach Daniel James, and it remains 1-1. He has been so important for them this season, Crescencio Somerville, the Dutchman, 22 years of age. 16 goals this campaign, no end of assists as well. You would expect him, as the match goes into the latter part of his existence, to make a telling contribution. He would be the one you would expect to somehow light the blue touch bay. But
yeah, I mean, he's a terrific player, you know, still developing all the time with his such a young age. And yeah, you wouldn't be surprised, especially he probably feels a little bit like he deserves it after having, you know, both legs attacked.
I'm surprised he can still walk, by the way. I mean, that one from Pearson down the back of his calf was not horrid in the first half. You're listening to Huddersfield 1, Leeds 1 in the EFL Championship on Talksport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Ampadu strides forward with the ball at his feet, runs into Matos, then sends it left. Firpo further down the touchline as Leeds come on the attack. It's collected by Somerville. Rodoni goes across to try and pressurise him, but it's Firpo picks it up. Now it's with Somerville once again. Infield it goes to Firpo. Firpo wants to return it to him, but goes on the outside of Rodoni. Tries to send the ball into the centre. It's stopped rather easily by Kusumu, and it's cleared to the far side. Once again, Leeds have it though. Gruev tries to charge through the centre circle. They need to keep pressurising if they're to get the 3 points here. Huddersfield weary and down to 10 players, trying to hold on to what would be a really good point for them. It would give them a little bit more distance between them and Stoke in the bottom 3 at this moment in time. 79 minutes gone. It's with Firpo, leaves it for Ampadu. Back down the left it goes. On the edge of the area is Somerville, trying to play it through the legs of the defender Pearson, but it's cleared away by him. Back to Somerville, who's telling crossed into the far post, doesn't reach its intended target, bounces through the box, but it took a little deflection on the way through. It's going to be a corner.
Yeah, must have done. But again, he can ask the question, well,
where's the movement?
When you have got that extra player, there's absolutely no excuse for not being in the penalty area. If you're a wide player, if you're midfield, you need to get in there and cover the goal. You know, it's no point having 3 of you at the near post as that ball went in.
Corner to be taken by Daniel James from the right side. Left hand in the air. He's got 7 pink shirts to aim at. One of them is Jorginho, who gets up and heads it over the bar. Well, he got far too much room to get up and head that ball. He
rose high above everybody else. He got away from his marker, and then he had a run on the defence. I think it was it Thomas who he got away from there? No, it was Kasumu who got away from, and he got up really high, but he got underneath the ball and it went over the top of the bar.
Yeah, I mean, he saw it all the way. He got away from his marker. He had that 2 or 3 yard head start to just get up and above Kasumu. He just timed it wrong. Simple as that. Wrong part of the head. Rather than the meat of the forehead, just came off the top of the head and up and over it went. It's a really great chance.
Yeah. The meat of the forehead is so important, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Vital.
Ball out on the left-hand side. Virgil van Dijk scored the goal against Luton Town with the meat of his forehead, didn't he?
Yes.
Here is Crescencio Somerville down the left-hand side, jinking towards the edge of the box. He takes it on the right edge of the area, and then he cannons the ball towards goal. It takes 3 deflections on the way through. Hit Matos Radoni and then Pearson, squirmed behind and went out for a corner over on the far side, which this time will be taken by Daniel James from that far touchline. 10 minutes to go. They're knocking at the door.
First time he's actually come inside and been a bit selfish to try and get that shot away. Probably wasn't a great effort. I don't think it would have troubled Nichols. Lucky to get the corner.
Here is James with the delivery. 9 minutes to go now. In towards that near post. Nichols with a big punch gets it out towards this near side. Leeds fans full of trepidation. Nichols has gone down after the punch. He collided into a group of players. Bamford is being accused of leaving something on him. He went up, he came out, he sent the ball away with his right fist, and then, Bamford was nowhere near it, and he's pleading the innocence. It just sort of, took a little graze from Pirou, I think, actually, who was closest to him.
Oh, it's one of those, though. It's just accidentally, of course, a sneaky knee. Pirou's knee.
Accidentally, of course, a sneaky knee. I don't think that works.
No. Anyway, a knee straight to the gluteus maximus. Just...
See, what you're telling us there is a little secret, aren't you?
Did that give it
away? That's what you do, is it, you strikers? Okay, we'll look out for that in more detail. We know what you like, really, anyway.
Painful, though.
Nichols is up after receiving treatment, and it's going to be a free kick. Of course, goalkeeper's going down and delaying the play. That means they don't have to go off for 30 seconds. So that's also, I think, factored in there, Dean.
Yes. Yeah, he seems fine, doesn't he?
He certainly does.
He's got a spring in his step again.
Well, Daniel Farke understands what is required to be the Leeds United manager. 40 games, 25 wins before today. He understands the role of the football club in the community. He understands how demanding they are, and he wants to deliver for them. He understands the Championship. He did a great job at Norwich City. He's, I think, adapted his modus operandi over the course of the years that he's been back in Germany, but he is desperate to get this team over the line, but they need to get over the line in this game. Here is Pirou through the centre circle. For Huddersfield, it will be vital for them in their bid to stay in the division to get a point. Crescencio Somerville has been given the ball on the left edge of the area. He cuts inside on his right foot, tries to feather the ball into the box looking for James. It comes out, back out again, and eventually Pirou is dispossessed by Radoni, and he runs out to the far touchline, shoots it long and clear up towards the edge of the box, and Kuroma was chasing for it, was never going to reach it, and there's just a little tug of the left hamstring by Ethan Ampadu, which would be of concern, I think, if you're a Leeds United fan.
Probably more cramp related, I would have thought, than necessarily injured, by the look of him anyway.
Well, let's hope so, because the last thing they want is him injured, because he's been terrific for them. He brings the ball forward down the left hand side. He plays it out towards Junior Firpo forward into the box. Pirou trying to spin, sends it back down to Crescencio Somerville, who falls to the ground. He couldn't take it in because it was a bit behind him. Radoni will then take it wide of the box and then clear it upfield. But it is all hands to the pump now, it feels, for Huddersfield Town as they try to see it out. And there's a bit of hush around the ground, really, because everybody is full of anticipation. They're desperate to see Huddersfield over the line, apart from that batch of 3,000 supporters behind the goal away to our right, who are dying for for Leeds United to get on the score sheet for a second time.
Yeah, no, they're doing a great job, Huddersfield, in just trying to nullify the threat, but everything is coming down that left-hand side, and Somerville and Firpo looking to overlap. If it's going to come, it's probably going to come from that side.
Here is Roberts looking to try and get it back out towards that left side where Ampadu finds Firpo, who goes down the side of the Huddersfield box. A low ball into Bamford, who tries to get across his marker. He did get across Tom Lees, but Lees was there to repel and block the effort that Bamford connected with.
I think he missed it. I think he missed this. I think it was a really good opportunity. Just got ahead, it felt, of Lees and missed it. And then Lees' leg was there just to poke away.
Well, good defending by him. Not great finishing from Bamford. Here is Jorginho onto Firpo. Left-hand side. Crescencio Somerville in on his right foot, looking to try and shoot. He does, and it's wide. And what a chance that was for the big Dutchman, who has been the big man for the big occasion throughout the course of the season. 16 goals he's got. He should have had 17, because when he came in on his right foot, he was aiming for that far corner. It seemed to open up for him, and he missed it by about half a yard.
Oh, this is so close. This is becoming his sort of trademark, coming in off that side. I think it just kisses the outside of the post. It's brilliant play. He just dabs the ball 3 or 4 times, trying to get Rodoni to commit, and then looking to curl it into that far corner, just off the outside of the post.
Firpo has gone off, and he has been replaced by Jayden Anthony for the final few moments of this game. 4 minutes to go. Even more strength on that left-hand side in an attacking sense, Dean.
Yeah. I mean, it has been all down that side. Somerville's been terrific. That would have capped it off. It was similar opportunity that he had at Plymouth away in the Cup that he finished so well.
It's so close. Yeah, it was very similar to that goal. I was down there for that one with you, and it was a terrific goal from him. 1-1 the score, 87 minutes on the clock, and Daniel Farke is standing with his arms out wide, asking the question of his team, hoping upon hope that they fashion something between now and the end of this game. It's a goal kick away to our left. Farke looks frustrated. Leeds have looked a little bit lethargic over the course of the 87 minutes that we've had, and some of that might be down to their trip to West London on Wednesday night, when they more than competed with Chelsea in that game in the FA Cup. But they need the points on the board in the Championship if they're to get over the line and return to the Premier League. And it will be encouragement for those around them: Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton. And it will mean that Ipswich have the opportunity today to leapfrog Leeds when they go to Plymouth later, if the scoreline stays the same. Here is James down the right. Back in field it goes to Roberts. Roberts on to Pirou. Pirou trying to turn and move into the midpoint of the Huddersfield half. He sends it to the left. It's collected by Ethan Ampadu. Finds Jayden Anthony, who's right-footed cross into the near post. Is missed by James. It's cleared away by Lees. It's loose on the edge of the box, and Pirou will pick it up again. Pirou sending it out to the far side. Anthony Ampadu, and then on to Somerville. Left angle of the penalty area. All down that left at this moment in time. Now it goes out to the right side, and Connor Roberts, who controls it, sends it back to Rodon. Rodon back infield, finding Ampadu. Ampadu on to Crescencio Somerville. Now Ruter dropping deep, trying to poke his way forward. He nudges it to the left. James with a cross, right-footed under the goalkeeper, who punches it clear out towards the near side. Zorba Thomas trying to get there ahead of Rodon. He couldn't, and Rodon keeps it alive. Bamford now picks it up. He tries to run centrally, needs to pass it forward. He's gone backwards. Gruev, 90 seconds to go at the end of the game. And there's a bit of urgency about Leeds United now, but they might have left it a little bit too late, Dean, to put their foot on the accelerator.
Well, look, the crosses are going in. It's just not finding a man at the moment.
James in towards the near post. It's too close to the goalkeeper. And there's a forlorn look on the face of Patrick Bamford, who looks to the sky. And the goalkeeper, Lee Nichols, is a grateful recipient.
I mean, look, it's difficult when you got wide players that jink as if they're going to cross and then check and then come back and then it's recycled back out, and the same happens on the other side.
Difficult for whom?
Difficult for the strikers to make those definitive runs.
Yeah.
It's different. We talked about Zorba Thomas in the first. It's coming in. He's just getting out of his feet and he's crossing it. So you can really time those runs. In this Leeds side, you've got to just keep going in and back out and in and back out, and you've got to cover the goal better than Leeds have done in this second half.
Remember, in their last league game, Leeds scored in the 80th, 83rd and 94th minute to win the game. And in midweek, there was that late goal in the cup tie that went against them. So late drama, and Leeds United
have gone together over the course of the season so far. Will it happen again? Huddersfield Town are looking to try and hold on to a valuable point. It'll be the first time that Leeds have dropped points in 2024. And that despite the fact they've played over half the game now against 10 players.
Yeah, it's taken some effort from these Huddersfield players.
Well, they'll need a little bit more. 6 minutes of added time.
Yeah. Collective 6. Went round the John Smith Stadium. The ball loose in midfield. Matos has picked it up. He's charged forward. It's won by Pirro and then cleared by Anthony against Rodoni. It's out for a throw in the left full-back position.
Yeah, I think you can take so much as a team from a performance and hopefully a result from a Huddersfield perspective if you can get through this. You know, when you're down there, you can pick up points when maybe you shouldn't. Be massive for them.
Huddersfield want their team to engage. James over halfway, looking for Jorginho Ruter. He's dispossessed Headley down this near side, and he's going to a crossing position. He needs to get his head up. He took too long to centre it, and it eventually comes off Headley, and it's smuggled behind and away for a corner. Cardiff have won their match. They've beaten Bristol City by a goal to nil. It means that they go up to 11th in the Championship table. Bristol City in 13th as a result of that. Leeds will still be in second, but the points gap between them and Ipswich will be just 1 before Ipswich go to Plymouth if it stays like this. The ball in by James, in towards the near post. Oh, well, Gruev got across the near post but didn't head it properly. It goes into Somerville, hits it against Healy, and he clears over the halfway line.
Again, just feels like it was missed by Gruev. He's looking to the heavens. He knows that's a chance. He got ahead of his man again. Great delivery. And he just doesn't get enough on it.
Yeah,
simple as that.
I think it was good defending by Pearson, though. I think he went up with him and it sort of hit him in the side of the face. But you're right, he didn't get the right level of contact.
No, it wouldn't have gone towards goal, but it might well have gone towards the back post for a teammate.
Crescencio Somerville takes it on and then travels towards the edge of the area once again. He pokes it wide into the path of Jaden Anthony, who declines the invitation to get the cross in. Again, Bamford goes in, checks out, comes back in again. The ball laid into the box to Pirro. Pirro trying to find a way forward, but he's surrounded by a blue blob of shirts, blue and white jerseys that just surround him. It comes back out towards this near side. Desperation about Leeds as they search for the winner. Pirro into the box, a poor delivery which is cut out by Rodoni. It drops on the edge of the box, and now a chance to break away for Huddersfield, but they can't because the referee has blown the whistle for a foul on Gruev. And Karoma not happy about that, nor was Thomas. Anthony coming forward, overran the ball, gave it away towards Kusumu. Ampadu gets himself in a tangle. Karoma picks it up right side. He'll take it out towards the far edge. And infield it goes to Kusumu, who's waiting for the delivery. Back out wide again, where Karoma is fouled by Jaden Anthony, and the free kick is given, and a few precious seconds are wasted once more by Huddersfield Town, who are inching closer and closer to a vital point at the bottom of the Championship table, and inching closer to causing real problems for Daniel Farker and Leeds United.
So important to do that as a forward. Karoma's all he's done is just chase lost causes, but then in a big moment now into injury time, he wins his team a free kick. And I tell you what, Ryan Reiter has said to his centre-backs, you're going up. Let's see if we can get a winner.
Well, you would, because these free kicks have a greater XG value than anybody else's free kicks, because Zorba Thomas is so deadly with his delivery. It's deep towards the far post. Helik, he's there and underneath it. Heads it against Bamford. It breaks to the edge of the penalty area. James has got to use it properly. He finds it back towards Rodon, who gives it to Bamford. Bamford tries to go on the outside, and that's going to be a yellow card for Headley.
Yeah, that's definitely the one to take when your team have gone up for a set play and you want to give them time to get back. Just so obvious.
It's another one that's gone into the book this afternoon. Ball out wide on the left-hand side. I mean, the first half was a real spicy derby. The second half, you've just seen Huddersfield having to defend for their lives. Ball launched into the box by Ampadu, headed away by Headley. Out on this near touchline, Connor Roberts has it. He created the only Leeds goal. He's found Rodon. Rodon's gone for the return from James, but James has hit it straight at Headley. Needed to be cuter than that. And then Karoma has tried to bring it up towards the halfway line, and Huddersfield are looking to escape. We've got only 90 seconds of stoppage time to play. And Tom Lees,
that was tired looking, wasn't
pressure. He just got there, realised that Bamford was coming behind him, didn't have the chance to look. He was absolutely cream crackered, and he just shanked it into the near side and the stand that we're sitting in on the halfway line. The ball's played down the right into Jorginho, who tries to patiently find a way through, but there wasn't anywhere to spread the play and try and open up those little gaps. He finds instead Ampadu. Rodon travels forward, edge of the D, James, Jorginho, back to James, Bamford edge of the box, left-footed, and it's well wide of goal.
Yeah,
drove it hard, but it was well wide of the right hand upright, and that could be the last chance.
That's what we've seen from Leeds today. Just not quite there. Not quite sharp enough in those key moments. Went into Jorginho. Little tap towards Dan James. He miscontrols it. Goes to Bamford. He miscontrols it. Gets away from him. He still tries to take the shot and bobbles it wide. It's kind of been that day.
Somerville's hit the post, but they've had one shot on target in each half of the game.
Yeah, which will really disappoint Daniel Farke, especially with having the extra player for so long.
What does this do to Ipswich, to Leicester, to Southampton?
Oh, it's a huge boost. And also what it does is it just breaks that momentum slightly for Leeds, who just look like they're just not going to lose.
Leeds, they aren't today either, but they are going to drop points, 2 of them. Stoke on Tuesday night at home's a big one, so is the Sheffield Wednesday game. Here's Zorba Thomas though, edge of the area. Can Huddersfield steal it last minute? It's Thomas to strike it, and it hits Rodon and goes behind, and it's a corner. A corner which these supporters at Huddersfield Town sense might just be the undoing of Leeds United. They're all on their feet, eagerly anticipating the delivery from Zorba Thomas. And they're queuing up. Helik is in there. Lees is at the back post. Pearson is lurking with intent as well. Kisumu is on the edge of the box. The ball comes in. It's right to the back post. It's pushed away by Meslier. And it comes back out to Matos. But before he can strike it, the full-time whistle blows. And the Championship promotion saga delivers yet another storyline. Leeds drop points for the first time in 2024 and open the door to Ipswich to leapfrog them later. And for Leicester to stretch their lead at the top. Huddersfield's season has seen them go through 4 managers and become embroiled in a relegation battle. But Derby Day draw over Leeds United gives them hope for the future and no shortage of local pride. Brighton remains unbeaten, and that is some achievement, Dean Ashton, bearing in mind that they spent most of the second half, in fact all of the second half, with one less player.
Well, I've seen a team today that definitely are going to be pushing to stay in the division. They care. They've put absolutely everything into that. No thanks to their captain who got sent off before half-time. That's not going to help. But the players out there, I'm sure, would have done the supporters proud. The manager as well will be pleased. And actually, before the sending off, I think we saw little glimpses of what Brighton Writer is going to bring to this Huddersfield team. And Leeds will be so disappointed that they, I think, maybe let midweek affect them in terms of the intensity of their play. Yes, I'm sure that'll be something the manager will talk about.
I'm sure he will, and we'll bring you those interviews a little bit later here on Talksport. And it has been quite some battle. Leeds not at their best. Huddersfield dug in to ensure they got a point. It finishes at the John Smith. Huddersfield 1, Leeds United 1.
And Dean Ashton, you have to applaud Huddersfield for being tenacious, as dirty as they were in the first half. Tenacious with 10 men in the second half. Didn't hold on for the 3 points, but got a point which can't be underestimated at this stage. We have to applaud Leeds as well. 9 straight league wins. It comes to an end. And it did look to me like they were affected by midweek. Daniel Farke was right with his predictions for this yesterday. But you still have to applaud the form that's put Leeds in the position they're in today. I thought that was a terrific Championship game of football.
Yeah, it was. And look, I don't think he's certainly not going to be too harsh, is he? It's been a tough turnaround, a quick turnaround from a game midweek to play here in a derby when you've got a team that, you know, are after you right from the first minute. And look, ultimately they didn't lose the game. It's a point. It's going to happen. There's plenty more twists and turns to come, and it's about, I think, just keeping that focus for Leeds United.
And a very quick one on why Leeds didn't find the winner. You said in commentary that everything was coming down the Leeds left, and yet the equalising goal came down the Leeds right. Why didn't they do that more?
Well, because, I mean, look, Somerville was terrific
down that side and was causing problems. And you're right, all of a sudden when it was switched quickly, there was space on the right-hand side. Yeah, they didn't do it enough, I'm sure. And then when they look back, I think they'll think they just didn't do enough as a team. You know, when those crosses were coming in, I was staggered that there weren't more players in the right positions when you've got to try and get a goal. And they were slow in the start of the second. It took them too long to get going in the game.
Dean, thanks very much. Huddersfield 1, Leeds 1. The Terriers get a point with 10 men. Leeds now 5 points behind Leicester, having played a game more, and probably more significantly, they're only a point ahead of Ipswich Town, who play this afternoon. We'll take you to that game. It's one of the games we're at in the Championship this afternoon. Down at the bottom, Huddersfield. Well, didn't look like relegation material, did they? They're 19th in the table on 38 points, 2 points ahead of Millwall, and QPR on 35. Stoke in the bottom three on 35, Sheffield Wednesday on 32, and Rotherham United are down already pretty much there on 19 points at the foot of the table. So plenty more Championship action to come.